Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right, it's all right.
And now, a guy who likes pina coladas but hates getting caught in the rain, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nite, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday, everybody. It is Monday, but you know what? We are in the couple positive things to look forward to, given that this is Monday. It's the second Monday before Christmas. You got this big holiday right around the corner. Everywhere you go, storefronts, city streets, things are lit up. It's beautiful. And I think Conrad will appreciate this. The winter solstice is less than a week away. We are about to hit the shortest day, and then, baby, it is all getting long. The days are getting longer, starting December 22nd. I'm excited about that.
I like that.
Very excited about that, because this darkness stuff is for the birds.
Yeah, when it's dark at 3
Not
p.m.
fun. So there you go. We've got a really fun show tonight, folks. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have some great conversations with some really fun guests. And we're going to talk a little bit about a very sad story with Rob Reiner. We've all heard the news by now. I heard last night when I was watching, I think I had Sunday Night Football on, and I could not believe what I was reading. We'll talk a little bit about Rob Reiner and his legacy. And then, believe it or not, we're going to talk Bears-Packers again. Part 2, right around the corner. We'll do that. And we'll do. We got a fun question tonight in regard to Rob Reiner, and it's weird not having a text to win thing to read it.
Yeah,
It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
It's just something off my plate. We had. I started my day off every morning. We have these every Monday morning, I should say. We have a meeting at Civic Media in regard to this show, and we kind of touch base. And I'll be honest, I am not quite functioning yet at 10 a.m. when we have said meeting. So on Mondays, I get up a little earlier. I get my coffee going, so I'm fresh for the meeting and that kind of stuff. And today, this is like, I can't even believe I did this. I hit start on the coffee maker without having the carafe in the coffee maker. So I went and made the bed, did all this kind of stuff, and I come out and there's coffee all over the floor. It just
no.
And I have a small coffee maker. It's like a 5-cup. I have a theory about coffee, and the smaller, the better. Anyway, if it was like a 12-cup thing, my kitchen would have been trash. But it was all over the place. It was like between the fridge and the counter. There was like coffee grounds on the floor. It was a mess. So there you go. All the more reason that you need coffee in the morning. I just messed it up, folks. I made a mistake. I'm not perfect.
You need a coffee just to clean up.
I needed coffee just to clean up. I ran to
up the coffee.
Starbucks. I got coffee, and I came back to clean up my coffee mess. I didn't, because I like my own coffee. What do you do? Do you drink coffee at home, or you go out for it?
This is gonna be. I drink coffee cold when I wake up in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's right. I knew that.
So I have like cold brew at home that I always keep in the fridge.
I thought you were going to say you make it the night before, and then you just drink it when you get home.
No, I when I go to the store, I get those big tubs of cold brew.
Yeah.
And it's dynamite.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I got this little, like, I'm not quite there. I'm almost there, I feel like, where I actually really, really enjoy the taste of just black coffee.
Okay.
I think I just need a little sweetness in it. So I have this cookies and cream, sugar-free thing that I got at Marshall's. I don't know if you ever go to Marshall's. They just have a section of just, coffee syrups.
Yeah.
And I found this one, and it's dynamite. So I had a splash of that, and it's so good.
Where is it? Is there a Marshall's in Green Bay?
Yeah, it's on the east side.
All right.
Yeah.
We have Ross and TJ Maxx, and I feel like if we could get a Marshall's, that would be the triumvirate of discount savings. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's good. I could do coffee in the summer. I could do cold coffee. I like my warm coffee, especially in the studio, which is 51 degrees for some reason. It was so cold this weekend, folks. It was ridiculously cold. I missed my window to put out outside lights around the house. And my wife even said, it's nice. Do you want to do it this week? And I think that was like right after Thanksgiving or something. I was like, yeah, I'll wait. And I waited, and I missed my window. So there are no exterior lights around the Schwaba house at the moment. And I don't know that there will be this year. So to compensate, I put the lights that we typically put outside on the inside. So the inside of my house looks like Vegas. It is ridiculously bright. And I realized I have an opinion on the new LED lights. They can look very pretty. They're very bright. But give me incandescent lights. I like the old school look. I don't need my Christmas lights, crazy LED. So there you go. So I've got, I might still put something up. If the weather, it's supposed to get a little nicer this week. Maybe I'll get out there, get up on the ladder. Clark Griswold's dad would be very upset with me for not exteriorly illuminating my house.
You need it that bright where it, it blinds the neighbors with how bright
I know.
it is.
And our houses are a little farther away, so I could probably get away with that. But I have one neighbor who goes crazy. He puts during Halloween, he's got the rock concert of zombies out there, and they're like 20 feet tall. Like, he must have $50,000 worth of decoration for every major holiday. Like Halloween, he's got a really cool Christmas display. And admittedly, when he started, I was like, oh man, that's a bit much. And now I love it. I love that someone goes that crazy and people drive by and stop and look. It's kind of fun. So give me more people that get excited about this season.
I feel like in every small town, there's that one guy that just goes absolutely crazy. When I grew up in Campbellsport before Kewaskum.
Oh, you're a Campbellsport kid.
Until I was like 12. So
your parents pulled you off the mean streets of Campbellsport and moved you to the Kewaskum.
7 minutes away.
That's right.
They had one person that would go crazy too, but in Kimberly, there's actually a person that goes crazy for every holiday.
Okay.
And Halloween, they actually have that people go through and go through their house, or not their house, the garage, and then in the back too. They have full decorations. It's different rooms and stuff.
Man.
It's so cool. But they do it I believe they do it for Christmas as well.
That's crazy. That's kind of fun until it blocks traffic. Like, I know people in the suburbs like Milwaukee or Chicago, when you go crazy like that, you got to either get everybody in the neighborhood in on it together so they don't mind people traipsing through to check it out. But I got no problem with people that really go nuts around the holidays because it just makes it that much more fun. It kind of infect you with their seasonal spirit. So, and we did that thing last week to that most annoying music ever, the karaoke version of Holiday Road by Lindsey Buckingham. We talked about.
I still have it. You want me to play it?
I bet you do. We put it on, and I told everybody where they could go. Compliments of one of our producers here, Jamie Martinson, who shared that list with us of all the great light shows around Wisconsin. But let's get this out of the way because it was very horrible to hear this. Rob Reiner being murdered with his wife at home. And at first, I have to admit, I thought it was one of those political slayings, like, what happened in Minnesota or what. But authorities are saying it was his son, and his son had drug problems and all this kind of stuff. But what a horrible way to end your weekend with news like that. It's like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, every once in a while, there's a murder or death that just, you're like, what? People can do that? It's so disheartening. It just kind of makes you lose your faith a little bit in the human race to think that someone could do that. And I know the kid apparently had problems, and I don't know all the details. I'm totally speculating on what the media is reporting, but just absolutely terrible. This kid was obviously troubled, and I don't know anything about Rob Reiner. I love his work, and I know he's very political. And he didn't make any bones about that. And his wife, they were very activist. But by all accounts, I was a huge fan of the guy from what I knew. I don't want to be one of those people that sits here behind a microphone in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and says he was a great guy. I think he was a great guy. I like his work. I think that probably speaks to the kind of person he was. But it's, regardless of who it was, it's a terrible tragedy. Just absolutely awful. And it's one of those things where I'll remember where I was. It was one of those deaths or news bites or whatever that I will always remember where I was when I heard that. So there you go. And that ladies and gentlemen. On a kind of a sad note, I don't want to focus or put too much of the focus on tonight's show on this horrible tragedy involving Rob Reiner and his wife and allegedly their son. So let's turn this into a positive and get to our Nightlight question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Questions.
What is your favorite Rob Reiner movie? Let's celebrate his body of work because he made some outstanding films. And my old pal Terry Bell. Boy, I haven't confused those two names in a long time, Conrad.
Yeah.
Terry Bell posted something from another filmmaker on Facebook that said Rob Reiner might have made the best coming-of-age movie, the best romantic comedy, the best courtroom drama. Like, he was kind of all over the place. And so let's celebrate that tonight. The guy was a phenomenal filmmaker, and he was a Nepo baby. His dad was comedy legend Carl Reiner. So let's have some fun with Rob Reiner's legacy. Tell me your favorite or favorites Rob Reiner films. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can also text us on the app. Or if you're watching the radio on the stream on Facebook, YouTube, or X, you can leave us a stream comment, and we will share your thoughts on the radio. As always, phone lines are open, folks. Here in this first hour, as we so often do, we've got a lot of news coming up. At the bottom of the hour, you got news, weather, and sports. So stick around for that. That is coming up momentarily. But for now, tell us or tell me your favorite or favorites when it comes to Rob Reiner movies. I'll go first, and I will say, stand by me. I have a three-way tie because it's hard to choose. Princess Bride, A Few Good Men, and Stand By Me. All outstanding films. And he directed. I know he wrote too, but typically I want to say he directed all of those because I think Aaron Sorkin wrote A Few Good Men based on his own play. I think William Goldman wrote the Princess Bride, and I think I want to say Stephen King might have written Stand By Me. Con, you got a favorite Rob Reiner?
So the story in The Princess Bride, William Goldman.
Goldman, yeah.
And then, yeah. So it's The Princess Bride. It's
such a great film.
haven't watched, I didn't see that film until last year. And I was like, wow, this film's amazing. It hit the comedy so well in that film. And I was laughing and I was like, oh, this is getting serious too. It's like, yeah, I loved it.
It's got everything. And you mentioned William Goldman. He was a big time, highly paid script doctor. And he wrote something that he wanted to show his kids. He had written all these Oscar-nominated films, and he wanted to write something that his kids, or I believe it was either his kids or his grandkids, could see. So he sat down and he wrote The Princess Bride. And it was such an absolute masterpiece. So great stuff, but an incredible body of work. Loved, and it's weird because I really liked A Few Good Men because of the performances and the aesthetics. It was shot, there were a lot of night scenes in D.C., it was just so well done and not terribly cinematic. Like, it was a lot of courtroom scenes. Anyway, it was great. And yes, it was Stephen King that wrote the novel Stand By Me, and Reynold Gideon, I don't know who, and Bruce Evans wrote the screenplay. So there you go. They were also producers on the film. Let me know, folks, what is your favorite Rob Reiner film? That's tonight's question of the night. News, weather, and sports coming up, and we're going to tell you something really cool after this, and we'll talk Bears-Packers. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Going on through December 7th. The Nutcracker is coming up this weekend at the Schwaba Performing Arts Center. All kinds of cool stuff. In fact, you should check out our community calendar at WGBW.FM to see what might get you in the holiday season, including an event that is a little bit more adult-focused on Saturday, i.e. there will be alcohol served, that I'm involved in. Yeah, that's up on our community calendar. Go check it out. Again, WGBW.FM.
It's the Eco Minute, powered by Clean Wisconsin, your environmental voice since 1970. I'm Amy Barrio. Wisconsin soybean farmers pushing the EPA to finalize rules allowing a controversial herbicide back on the market. Dicamba is used on soybeans and cotton that have been genetically modified to resist the weed killer, but it has a tendency to get into water supplies and drift in the air, hurting other plants like orchards, gardens, and trees. The EPA will now require dicamba to be mixed with other chemicals to help stop drifting. If you're still searching for a Christmas tree and wondering which is better for the environment, real or plastic, turns out it's real. Experts say plastic trees are usually shipped thousands of miles from China and eventually wind up in landfills. And for every real tree that gets taken home, farmers replant 1 to 3 trees in its place. Right now on the Defender podcast, meet the Wisconsin native who's foraging 100% of his food for an entire year. Listen at cleanwisconsin.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back. Don Brown, our pal from WAUK, says this is Spinal Tap is his favorite Rob Reiner film. That is a classic. And rock rap artist Matt Harper from right here in GB says The Wolf of Wall Street. I kind of always forget he did that film. That's a great one, too. Danny Wheels says Stand By Me. Great choices. Let us know your favorite Rob Reiner movie. We're celebrating his body of work tonight after such horrible news. So get in on the fun, folks, and drop us a text or a stream comment. If you're on any of these streaming platforms, give us a like or a follow if you don't mind. And we've got a caller, Conrad?
Yeah, Mark from Prairie du Sac.
Mark from the Sac. What is up, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing relatively okay. Just horrible news.
Awful.
I just awful news. But I think that a movie that I thought was just kind of okay the first time I saw it, but just has kind of grown on me is The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much great material in there that there's the code in there. You can tell somebody if you really love them that you really love them, but just saying as you wish. I mean that it is just that good luck storming the castle, boys. That when you're facing impossible odds against an evil force, that it occurs to me that Donald Trump is a curious miasma of the evilness of Count Rugen, Prince Humperdinck, and Vincenti, wrapped up with every other evil character in reality and fantasy that there's been, that based on his comments he just made about Rob Reiner.
Yeah,
and
well,
it's just it's a wonderful movie, and that I was, as a matter of fact, this is years ago, but I was in Target, I think, and I was looking at movies, to pick something new up. And there's this young couple looking around at movies to watch, that I said, try The Princess Bride out, because they'd never seen it, and that it just is, a movie that I highly recommend, and it's just a wonderful film. I mean, just a wonderful movie, and that maybe it's a little light, but it's lighthearted, and it
it's light, but it's got age-old themes too, Mark, and that's a great choice. That's my favorite, I think, as well. It's up there with Stand By Me and A Few Good Men, but all very different movies that he made, or different from a genre standpoint, and he just crushed it. And he wasn't the writer; he just directed. But part of great directing is not messing up a great story either, and he certainly enhanced them as opposed to the other way around. Mark, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you,
very
brother.
much. You got it. Have a great night. And it's like he was he did go after Trump, and Trump went after him today through his was it Truth Social? You got a Truth Social account, don't you?
I don't think so.
So you're bound to get a few of those opinions in there, too, because he was a pretty vocal political guy, but a phenomenal filmmaker. Let us know your favorite Rob Reiner film, and we'll read the text on the radio. Coming up, all right, here are my guests tonight, folks. This is going to be really fun. We've got Sean Connolly coming up in just a few minutes. He'll be here after the news, which is coming up shortly. News, sports, and weather coming up at the bottom of the hour. Then I'm going to bring on Sean Connolly, who is doing some really cool stuff, and we're going to talk about the longest cross-country ski event there is. And I need to know how to say some of this stuff, Con. It's Berkey, right?
Yeah, Berkey.
I'm saying that right, like Birkenstocks.
Yes.
All right. So Sean is an outdoorsy guy, so he's going to inform this couch potato what is going on with these events he's got coming up. He splits time between Green Bay and Hayward, and he's going to tell us all about these really cool events. Then we've got Laura Enright, author from Chicago, who is writing a book about a loan shark, a famous loan shark, and we're going to talk to her about that book. And then I've got Teresa Apertola. I hope I'm saying her name right. She's a Green Bay stage actress. She will be here in the last hour to tell us about a play that is coming up at the Green Bay Community Theater. The more I learn about this Green Bay Community Theater, I just love it. They're doing some great things, and they've been around forever. 90 years, Conrad. Would it kill you to audition? Get over there, man.
I mean, I don't think they probably cut off the music. They say, all right, we've seen enough. And I just walked in. That's all I did, too.
That's all it takes? That's like when they ask Homer when he's taking the lie detector test. Just answer the question truthfully, Homer. Do you understand? Yes. And the whole thing explodes. So we've got, there's your guess. Our question, what is your favorite Rob Reiner film? We've got, we've got about 2 minutes here. I know you were like one of the first people I thought of yesterday when I got the news about Micah Parsons. Just absolutely terrible. And even, as a Bear fan, it's like, we got this great rematch coming up this week. And you don't want either team to be compromised. And whatever, it's part of life. Football's just lots of injuries. But what were your thoughts when you heard that?
Sadness.
Did you think right away when you saw the play, oh,
yeah.
no, that's not good? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It was non-contact, right?
Yeah, it's not contact. And then they replayed it, and I saw that it basically, if you've seen any Achilles injury before, that's what happens.
Oh, it's an Achilles.
ACL injury.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. But it popped, You saw it, and it's not. I'm sad.
I can't even imagine. Listen, this is like, and I think there's something to this theory. It seems to me the most jacked guys who are like physical specimens, like Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons or so, are they just like, I don't know, are they so jacked that their muscles are tighter and they just pop or something? I have no scientific evidence to support my theory.
I think that they just put so much pressure on some of these muscles, because I mean, when they're going off the line, it's super fast. It's hard. They're going 100%. And I don't know.
Did this happen back in did Ray Nitschke
honestly
ever even come close to tearing an ACL?
I did see that. These ACL injuries this year up 50% from last year.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I know one thing. I'm certainly not going to tear mine sitting in this chair.
Well,
you never know. I could pivot quickly with a topic. We've got news, sports, and weather coming up right now, folks. Don't go anywhere. Dave on the stream says, yes, a novella that contains Stand By Me and Shawshank. Stephen King, baby. It's Pete Schwaba, Nightlight. We're coming back.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
From the 97.9 WGBW Newsroom, I'm Stuart J. Waddles with this local news update. The 34-26 loss wasn't the only heartbreak for the Packers in the Mile High City. After taking the lead 4 times in the first half, the third quarter brought a double dose of injuries to key players. Wide receiver Christian Watson left the field with a chest injury. Then star pass rusher Micah Parsons went down with what's believed to be a torn ACL. The loss puts the Packers behind Chicago ahead of their Soldier Field showdown this weekend. Some lucky school kids in Green Bay are in for a special treat during story time today. Packers players are reading them stories as part of a free book fair supported by the Packers. John Fitzpatrick, Lacita Smith, and Dalton Cooper are reading to students at Oneida Nation Elementary. They'll also be at Doty Elementary. As part of the book fairs, each student gets to choose 3 brand new books to keep at no cost. Each school will also receive 250 books for their school and classroom libraries. Tubing season on Arians Hill is officially open, with weather conditions allowing for ample snowmaking and Mother Nature providing plenty of her own. The top tubing spot in Green Bay should be in great shape for the season. With the extreme cold like we had over the weekend, people are reminded to check Titletown's website and social media platforms for the most up-to-date information on any closures or cancellations. News at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM. I'm Stuart J. Waddles, 97.9 WGBW News.
Green Bay weather.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly to mostly cloudy for tonight, low near 10, rising temps late. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the mid-30s. And partly sunny on Wednesday, highs pretty close to 30 degrees. Rain Wednesday night, rain to snow Thursday. Currently, we're at 15.
WGBW.
Well, the games people play now, every night and every day now, never meaning what they say now, never saying what they mean. While they while away the hours in their ivory towers, till they covered up with flowers in the back of a black limousine. Oh, la da da da.
Welcome back. This is Nite Lite. I am Pete Schwaba. It is great to have you here on this wonderful Monday evening, folks. Our second Monday before Christmas. 8 shopping days left. Do people still say that, Con? Shopping days?
I haven't heard it this
I've
year.
never heard anybody.
I haven't
Only
heard it
19
this year yet.
shopping days till Christmas. Okay. So our question of the night is, what is your favorite Rob Reiner movie? We are turning very sad news into a positive and discussing the legacy that he left behind, sadly, too soon, even though he was 78 years old. I said Princess Bride, A Few Good Men, and Stand By Me. He was my favorite Nepo baby. Con, you said Stand By Me?
No, Princess Bride.
Yeah. Let's ask our guest, who is in studio now. He joins us here. Very excited to have this guy on the show. He is the marketing and communications director for the Birkebeiner Ski Foundation. And he joins us here in the studio, a native of Green Bay, Mr. Sean Connolly. Hey, buddy.
Hey, pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Great to have you. So you're a Green Bay kid?
I am, indeed.
That's exciting. What do you have a favorite Rob Reiner film, Sean?
So, as a musician, and literally as I was turning this dial to turn my headphones up, I just it has to be Spinal Tap. It has to be Spinal Tap because this one, you see, it goes to 11.
But does this one go to 11, or do we need to have a?
We got to have a better knob here. But that's just so classic.
Such
and now
a
with the
great movie.
re-release of the new Spinal Tap, I haven't seen it yet. I've heard only amazing
haven't
things.
either. Yeah.
But I mean, it's got to be Spinal Tap. I mean, there's so many iconic lines from that movie, and just every musician, you walk into a gig and everyone says turn it up to 11.
One of my favorite lines from that movie is, I think it's Paul Schaefer, David Letterman's old music director, who said when they had to cancel the shows in Boston, he said, "I don't worry about it, guys. Boston's not a big college town." And they both have the cold sores. It's just such a great movie.
It's classic. It's classic.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to have you here tonight. It's great to have you in the studio, too. I understand you split time between here and Northwest Wisconsin.
Yes, absolutely. I consider myself a citizen of the state, if you will. Yeah. So Green Bay, love it. Born and raised. I play Sundays at the Packer games in the Packer tailgater band. We walk around the lots and play with Packers. So that's super fun. I'm a musician in the area. Love it here. But yeah, really kind of fell in to just getting active in the outdoors. My wife is also an amazing runner. That's how we met. And with our 2 golden retrievers, we just love spending time out in the woods. And that's how we kind of fell in love with cross-country skiing. And that's how I got involved with the American Birkebeiner Ski Foundation up in Hayward, Wisconsin. And the annual cross-country ski race there, which for the listeners who don't know, the American Birkebeiner Ski Foundation hosts the 3rd largest cross-country ski race in the world, largest in North America. It goes from one town to the other, Cable, Wisconsin to Hayward, Wisconsin, 50 kilometers. And it's every single February. And we're going on our 52nd year, celebrated our 50th anniversary. I started with them 2 years, with the organization 2 years ago, working with the American Birkebeiner Ski Foundation in the least snowiest winter we've had in decades. I'm like, it's a good time to start working for a ski foundation when there's no snow on the ground. It's a really great time.
You got to bring us some luck.
But anyways, this year now, look outside. It's absolutely incredible. My wife and golden retrievers and I were just skiing out at UWGB's campus earlier today, reforestation camp up in Swamico for those in the Green Bay area. I know we're going statewide, but look out your windows, look up. There's a cross-country ski destination or somewhere to go outside and snowshoe, do something outside. It's just a beautiful time of year to get out there.
I'm just going to share this, Sean. Like I've said before on this show, I'm not an outside guy, much even less a winter guy. But I remember when we moved to Wisconsin, Northeast Wisconsin, Marinette, Wisconsin, and I remember seeing people cross-country ski, and I'm like, oh my God, that's like the lamest thing ever. It's not. It's like phenomenal exercise. You're outside. Like that's the kind of skiing I've done. I don't have any desire to downhill ski. Like I said before, too, I spend most of my life avoiding serious injury. But cross-country skiing, talk about how great that is for people and their wellness and just what a great exercise it is.
So I'm stealing this line from a great comic whose name is escaping me right now. But, cross-country skiing is that awkward moment when you're trying to get to the chairlift for downhill skiing. That's cross-country skiing. But no, and for real, as you mentioned, it is a active sport. It is a sport that you can do well into your later years in life. That's why I got so excited about it when a buddy of mine, shout out to Jake Bauman if he's listening, said, hey, come on out and ski with me, man. I think you'd really enjoy it. And he's the one who got me really trained up to kind of do this Birkebeiner race for the first time. And I got out on the trails and there's these 70-year-old guys, 80-year-old guys, 90, just out there doing it because it's low impact on your joints,
Yeah,
right? So it's not
absolutely.
like running where you're just pounding your joints. But it's something that you can do well late into the life. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago when the Berkey had its 50th anniversary race, we had a skier who had done all 50 races. His name is Ernie St. Germain. He's an incredible individual. He's a Le Coudray native from the area and had an incredible 50 years of doing this race because you can do this into your later years in life. It's so cool to see. So that's one of the reasons I kind of got into it. And like you said, it's great in endurance activity. And you know the best part about some sort of outdoor, even if you're not an outdoor winter guy.
When it's done?
When it's done and you can go warm up and you can have that hot cocoa and you can eat whatever sugar
I was
cookies
trying
you
to
want.
make a joke and I totally stole your thunder.
No,
I didn't
it's
know that was
great.
the actual.
It is because that's one of the best parts about it. You find a nice lodge and you have a little fire and you enjoy time with family and friends after you feel like you've earned it a little bit, right?
Absolutely. My kids had a tennis teacher a few years ago, and she actually said, I think I made a comment like, hey, it's supposed to be 60 this week or whatever. And she's like, no, it's terrible because they are snowmobilers. They love winter. And I started thinking to myself, pardon me, if I'm going to live here, and I do, why not find something to do and embrace winter? Because mostly I just sit and complain with my fire turned on. And I'm like, well, once you do it, it really is fun when you get out there. But what would you tell people to start? Like Conrad every day comes in here and says, where do I learn more about cross-country skiing?
Yeah. Bay Nordic is an incredible facility around here. Yep, it's a great organization called Bay Nordic. They do lessons up at Reforestation Camp just up in Swamico. And like I mentioned, if you're listening statewide, look for something near you. And if you go to Berkey.com, we just in November, we hosted a statewide Wisconsin Nordic Winter Kickoff live stream, kind of similar to what you're doing here on GBW with Civic Media. And anyways, we had all these different Nordic space spots from all over the state. We had Lapham Peak, we had Minocqua Winter Park, we had Windman Trails, which is up in Winchester, Wisconsin. We had Aaron's Nordic Center in Brillion, not far from here. And we all kind of came together just to talk about Nordic skiing and that there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of ways to train and kind of get into it. But as you mentioned, if someone's just getting into it, I would suggest you don't need to spend a ton of money. Yes, there's a little bit of a cost of entry, but you can get a nice used pair of skis for $100, maybe $200 with a boot, skis, and poles. There used to be a lot of ski swaps back in the day. I think COVID unfortunately killed a lot of those. But there's go on Facebook Marketplace. There's always someone being like, I haven't used these things in years. They're sitting in my garage. They'll pull it up on Facebook Marketplace. So find something cheap for skis. You don't need to spend a lot of money on skis, but where you should spend your money is a nice jacket, a nice pair of pants, the winter gear that'll keep you warm. That's what's going to keep you outside and keep you doing it. Like I can't tell you night and day difference when I finally was like, you know what? I've had this jacket since high school. It's got holes all over it. It was one of those Packer starter jackets, the quarter zips. Those are classic back in the day. Had that one for years. Finally said I'm going to upgrade to something that's actually like legitimate. That's going to keep me warm, and that's what's kept me like outside more because it's out these and these. I skied here today because it was above zero.
So
the past 2 days, it's been sub-zero temperatures, and if you have nice gear, that it helps out a lot.
You skied here from just a few blocks down by the Meyer Theater.
Yeah, less than a quarter mile. Yeah.
Did you hit any cement or anything?
Oh yeah, tons of it.
And that's okay?
No, it's not at all. No.
It's just a diehard.
I usually use it what they call your rock skis or your B skis. Everybody's got a couple pairs of skis. And I took them off and didn't walk down the concrete. And then the city deck over here has they plow like half of it, so the other half I just ski.
So you can stay.
I just did it to say I did it. Here
my guest is Sean Connolly. He is an awesome outdoorsman and a fine Irishman, and he is the marketing and communications director for Birkebeiner Ski Foundation. They have the third largest cross-country ski race marathon in the world, the largest in North America. So when you come across people like us, like Conrad and I, sometimes we'll start the show and talk about we'll complain about how cold it is.
Sure.
It's like we are here willingly. Why do we complain about this? Like, So you probably meet people like that too. When did you know? Like, do you like winter more than summer?
Yes.
Okay.
You get too hot and just like in my humble opinion, it's hard to cool yourself down. Yeah, you can go inside, air conditioned room, but for me, I'm like, man, it's like I sleep cold, like I can't be warm when I sleep kind of. Yeah, so I guess I got winter in my blood, a little bit there, but I would say I like winter a little bit more than summers because you do have to take advantage of a little bit more, and there are times when it's dark out like this at 4 p.m. and I don't mind sitting in front of my computer a little bit longer because it's like, well, it's dark. What else are you going to do? But when it is nice, when it's nice out and it's light out and you have opportunities to take advantage of the outdoors, well, that's what cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, just going for a hike, go play romp with your dog, build a snowman, you get at least an hour or something outside so you you get some activity out there, especially this time of year now with this dumping of snow we've had over the past. I mean, I say dumping, but it's like compared to the past 2 years we've had. This is amazing. Kind of like we talked about earlier for people who may not be into the winter sports. Nordic skiers are a different breed. They are like, oh my gosh, it's cold. There's snow. This is incredible. Where other people are like, give me a white Christmas, then let it melt and move on. But for us, literally right after Christmas, that's when our season picks up. And that's when we start to have all of our ski events, all fat biking events all throughout January. And then we get into February, our big winter ski season. So there's a lot of events that the Berkey hosts, not just during the winter, but the winter season is our biggest time of year for getting people out and active.
Okay, so you talked to us. Pardon me. You talked a little bit about this great event coming up, the Berkebiner Cross Country Ski Marathon. How can people find out more information? Can they join? What like, let's say someone wants to be part of it or they want to watch. Where is the information?
Yeah, great. So Berkey.com, that's BIRKIE.com. Berkey.com has all the information. There's a lot of great things going on right now. So the Berkey registration opens up in May. And on our first day, we'll get about 2,000, 2,500 people to register because there's just that many people that are just like, yep, this is what I do every year and I'm going to sign up. And then the thing more will trickle in over the years. We're getting to, over the months, we're getting to the point now where waves are starting to close. So we have like wave 1 will have X amount of people. Wave 2 will have X amount of people. So waves are starting to close. You can still get in. There is definitely still room for you. You'll be in some of the later waves, but we have a really exciting time out right now. So if you're listening to this and you are a cross-country skier, or maybe you're a runner, or maybe you're a biker, and maybe you've done some Berkey events, we have a Refer a Friend program going on right now through Christmas Eve. So if you sign up now through Christmas Eve, or get a friend to sign up now through Christmas Eve, you get $25 into your Berkey account. So get a friend to sign up, so you're signed up, and then it's in your account so you can use it towards a future event, right? So that's what we've found is not just the Berkey, but endurance athletes in general. I feel like they're always looking for that next thing. And once you put it on the calendar, once you put money down and you say, I'm doing this race, now you're committed. Now you're like, well, I guess I got to go out and train or this thing's going to suck. So that's what it's all about. It's all
If
about
I
getting out there and
sign
training.
someone up, do they have to show? Like if I sign Conrad up and he's a no-show, which is a pretty good possibility, do I still get the
Hey, as long as he
$25?
signs up when you have his registration dollars, that's all that matters. You get the money.
All right, fantastic.
But we'd like you to show up.
So when you're racing this is a race, a cross country race.
Okay, correct.
It seems like, and again, I don't mean to like it's hard work. It's great exercise.
Yeah,
but it seems like it's not like you're watching Usain Bolt. It seems like people are kind of going about the same. Is it endurance? Is it like having huge thighs so you can go just a little bit faster than other people? What are the strategies when it comes to cross-country skiing?
It's definitely endurance for sure, especially for a marathon. It's just like a running marathon or anything, it's endurance. Now, there are two different styles. The majority of people in cross-country skiing started, it was the classic style, like you said, like you were kind of going back and forth like that. You're chugging, It's kind of one foot in front of the other, sliding like you're on a Nordic track, right? The other style is what's called skate style, and that's the one that's actually pretty exciting to watch. No offense, classic skiers. You get out there, and it's more like you're moving back and forth. It's very fast. It's something you would watch more in the Olympics.
I've seen those.
And
Those
now,
guys fly,
which is really exciting because now we're in an Olympic year this year too.
Yeah.
So getting people excited about that to say like, hey, you know what? Not many people can ski the Olympics, but when you ski the American Birkebeiner and you finish on Main Street and there's thousands of people out there cheering you on, that feels like it. That's an Olympic moment, right? So that's what we're looking forward to this year.
We've got Berkey on the brain, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Connolly is here. He's the marketing and communications director for the Birkebeiner Ski Foundation. We're going to talk more about some of the events they have coming up after the holidays. And if you want, drop us your favorite Rob Reiner film. That is what we're asking people to do tonight to be part of the show. This is Pete Schwaba and Night Light on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Let's groove.
That sounds like the karaoke version of that song, which is Hans Zimmer's amazing score from The Princess Bride. We've got a number of texts coming in saying The Princess Bride. We'll get to your texts shortly. Conrad Krieger working the board tonight, and my guest in studio right now is Sean Connolly. He is the marketing and communications director for the Birkebeiner Ski Foundation. We're talking to Sean about some fun events they have coming up, and news and weather are right around the corner, folks. We've got Laura Enright, Chicago author, who's going to be here to tell us about her new book about loan sharking in hour number 2, which should be interesting. And then local actress Teresa Apertola will be here in hour 3. Right now, we've got some more time with Sean, who skied into the studio tonight, which blows my mind. Big time outdoorsman. And here's the thing, Sean. I'm not an outdoorsy guy. I don't really like winter, but I love being around people who embrace things I don't really, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
for
kind of
sure.
fun
I
to
get
talk
that.
to you about that.
For sure.
You said you're more of a winter guy. What do you do in the summer in Wisconsin? Like, what is your favorite activity?
Oh yeah,
to do
don't
in
get me
the
wrong. It's not like, oh my gosh, I never step outside in the summer. Summer's still great. Just so, given my choices, I'll take the winter. But no, still trail running is great. Get out kayaking. I go with some friends fishing and just getting out in the North Woods, hiking and just being outside with the pups. And then, after we get outside, then picking every tick off of them for about an hour. It's
Oh my
great.
gosh, no kidding. So how did you end up with this gig? You're marketing and communications.
Yes.
Regarding an activity you love.
Yeah.
Is this a dream job for you?
Yeah,
or
it's pretty
what?
great. It's pretty great. I mean, I've worked in digital media my entire career. Worked in television, radio. Worked for WFRV TV here in town. Shout out to all the great guests we have on that show. And but yeah, just really kind of I literally got into the sport and did my first Berkey race in 2023, and then the job opened up in 2024. And then I was like, well, yeah, let's do this. But yeah, anyways, that's like I said, kind of consider myself more of a citizen of the state because it is across the state. But Wisconsin's got so many amazing things, from like the largest cross-country ski race in the country to one of the largest car shows in Iola to the largest music festival in Milwaukee to, the greatest NFL team, the biggest small town in America, says the guy, biggest small town in America for Green Bay. It's such a cool place that, it's great to celebrate, and it's great to share that celebration with other people, whether it's outdoor activities, whether it's sports, whether it's music. There's just so many great things around here to share.
Very well said. So how long is this Berkey cross-country ski marathon?
Yeah.
How many miles?
So it is about 30 miles, and it depends on
It'd be so funny if you said it's just 40 yards. It's a dash.
No, but it's and I say about that because one of them is about cross-country skiers speak in kilometers. It's kind of a thing, just because so it's a 50K, or if you're doing the classic race, it's a 52K. So there's classic and skate; those are the two different styles. And so when you get out onto the trails, you'll see you'll generally see the track where you get your skis in the track and they don't really move out of that track.
Right.
And that's your classic style. Then you got the skate one that's a little bit wider, and there you're kind of pushing side to side and you glide, you go a little bit faster. So those are the two different versions, and they're two different distances that way. But you'll see skiers come from all over the world doing both different versions. I think skate skiing has kind of become a little bit more popular, but the week itself really is a whole week of skiing celebrations. Honestly, it's kind of a celebration of Nordic activities and just winter in general. So the week actually kind of begins on Wednesday. Wednesday is our open track day, and that's the day if you want to come and you want to ski and you don't want the whole craziness of the race, because there's a lot of people and there's skis and poles flying everywhere, so it can be a little bit intimidating. So if you just want to ski the course but still have all the aid stations open there, be supportive, you come on Wednesday, you ski that. Then Thursday is kind of our family day. That's where we have what we call the Barker Berkey. I was actually training for that earlier today with my golden retriever Cedar in Maple. There's where you
everything
ski with
about
the dog.
you is outdoors. Cedar and Maple, Conrad. Are you listening to this?
Sending my dogs.
Oh yeah.
We need to
Great dog.
follow.
They should have came on the show today. Generally, you'll see them walking by the studio window here
on skis.
No, like we're getting there. But skijoring, that's where you ski with your dog around anyway. So they have that. You have a kids races. Then we also have what's called a giant ski. Giant ski is 6 people on one pair of skis, and they go downtown, and that is just a dash. We go like 30, 20 yards, 20, 30 yards. But it's super fun. That's a super fun. So Thursday's kind of the fun family day. Then Friday is the half Berkey day. It's called the Quarterlopet. So that's if you want to ski just the half distance, kind of like doing a half marathon. And then Saturday is the big ski day, big celebration day where the whole course is lined with fans and you're in the woods for a lot of it, but then you go by some cabins and those cabins will have shot skis out there for you. And then you get downtown and there's balconies where people are lowering down some beers to people. So
I was going to say,
it's a party.
Wisconsin. There has to be alcohol involved at some level.
At some point, and you can do as much or as little as you want, but it is an event. That giant ski event, some guys might have a couple beers before they get on 6 people on one pair of skis. It's pretty exciting.
It's February 18th through the 22nd.
Correct.
A phenomenal event. Can we keep you for a few minutes past the news? We've
of course.
We've got some other events here I'd love to ask you about.
Yeah, no problem.
You graduated from Stevens Point. What was your experience there like? I have a child at Stevens Point. It's just such a neat little campus.
Oh, it's just it's just an incredible mecca in the middle of the state.
Yeah.
I love it. And the town, especially, even since I've graduated, I go back there now. I'm a musician. I play some gigs there, and I'm like, wow, there's like new distillery. The campus just keeps growing with new buildings. The whole town is it's such a great place to live and to enjoy. So I highly suggest, shout out to Central Wisconsin. You guys got it going on up there. Love it.
So when we come back, we're going to do the news, weather, sports. It's all coming up, folks, in just a minute. Sean will stay with us for a few minutes. I'm going to ask you your favorite parts of the state, winter and summer, because we're celebrating Wisconsin here with a guy who knows our state inside and out. He's lived in different areas, and he's overseeing all these great events. We'll talk about a couple of the events as well. Conrad, you'll still be here, right?
I might take a powder. I don't know.
Take a powder in the middle. That's Act 2 is coming up next. Jim from Appleton, the 920, says his favorite Rob Reiner film is Misery. God, that's like when you forget some of the movies a guy has done. That's
right. That's a deep cut.
Completely forgot about Misery with James Caan and Kathy Bates. Jim also says, I'm going to copy you, Pete. I can only narrow it down to 3. Princess Bride, Spinal Tap, and A Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men. And then he managed to get Misery in there, too. Well done. Tom from New Berlin says, Pete, repetitions can breed injury. So don't do repetitions. I don't know what to tell you. All right, we're coming back, folks. The news and the weather are coming up next. You might even hear from Mike Clemens. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. We're coming back with Sean Connolly, and we're going to read more of your texts after the news. Don't go anywhere. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight.
All right, noon. Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Up next on 97.9.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Police in Providence, Rhode Island asking for the public's help in tracking down the suspect in the mass shooting at Brown University Saturday. 2 students were killed, 9 others injured. Authorities releasing new video today showing a person of interest. ABC's Rena Roy has details.
This person of interest is wearing all black, a black beanie, a black face mask. They are really asking the public for help here. They are offering a $50,000 reward for help in identifying who this person is and information that leads to an arrest here.
Police in Los Angeles say Nick Reiner has been booked on suspicion of murder in the stabbing deaths of his parents, director Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer. Sources tell ABC News Reiner's daughter discovered her parents at their Brentwood home on Sunday. In Australia, the investigation into the Bondi Beach mass shooting continues. Police say a father and son carried out the anti-Semitic attack during Hanukkah celebrations Sunday. This is ABC News. In Australia, shock and grief following Sunday's anti-Semitic attack at Bondi Beach. Police say 2 men opened fire on crowds gathering to celebrate the first day of Hanukkah. 15 were killed, more than 36 others injured. Here's ABC's Faith Abube.
Police confirmed the Jewish community was the intended target.
You could just hear the gunshots and they're just so loud. And we didn't know which way that they were shooting, so we were like running on the open road.
Video shows the suspect, a 50-year-old father, and his son, 24 years old, perched atop a pedestrian bridge firing long guns. Police killed the father at the scene while his son is in critical but stable condition.
In Massachusetts, Brian Walsh was found guilty of murdering and dismembering his wife, Anna, in 2023. He admitted earlier to lying to police about her disappearance and improperly disposing of her body, but maintained that he did not murder her. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
You're a storyteller, negotiator, artist, innovator. Whatever your passion, whatever your skills, behind the scenes, or in front, you belong here. A career in broadcast media. Local radio and TV stations in every town and city need someone like you. So do what you love and bring your talent to life. Your passion, your skills, your career. You belong here. Learn more at youbelonghere.media.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly to mostly cloudy for tonight, low near 10, rising temps late. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the mid-30s. And partly sunny on Wednesday, highs pretty close to 30 degrees. Rain Wednesday night, rain to snow Thursday. Currently, it's 10 above.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I was stuck in a state of panic and endless rituals. So I made the call.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You are listening to your local Civic Media radio station on air. Thank you. Did you know we are always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app?
Broadcasting live statewide from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay. This is Nite Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's alright, it's alright.
And now, a guy who can still look intimidating in leg warmers, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, kicking off the second act of tonight's show on a beautiful Monday here in downtown Green Bay. Christmas is right around the corner. What more could you ask for, folks? We're talking about the things in life that make us happy. Movies and TV, comedy, music. And with my current guest, Sean Connolly, cross-country skiing, winter sports, summer sports. We'll be back to Sean in just a moment. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Laura Enright will be here. She is a Chicago-based author who does great. She writes about vampires and the mob, Con. What about it? I mean,
that's
come
pretty
on.
Cool.
Two subjects.
That's really cool.
I think it's great. And she's working on a new story about a guy who was a loan shark, and she's working with him on the book. I can't wait to talk to her about that. And then we're going to talk some theater in Act 3 with Teresa Apertola, who will be here in the studio as well, probably sitting in the same seat that Sean is sitting in right now.
I'll keep it warm for you.
Okay, our question of the night is Rob Reiner based. We talked about the horrible death of Rob Reiner yesterday. We got news that he and his wife had been killed, most likely by their son, which is just a horrible tragedy. We're trying to spin it positively and talk about Rob Reiner's legacy and some of the things that he left behind, and certainly earned his time here on Earth, contributing to things that make us very happy, these great movies. So let us know what your favorite Rob Reiner film is, and I will read your text on the radio. We also talked a little, Conrad, sort of, we really didn't get into too much stuff, but you were very bummed out about Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I
as you should
still
be.
am. Still am very sad.
So what does this do? You know, are they sure it's the ACL? Has that been confirmed?
It was confirmed today.
All right. That is a bummer for Packer. I'm sorry about that, Packer fans. And I make no bones about the fact that I'm a Bears fan, but you don't want to, if you beat, like Aaron Rodgers, I was so mad when he left because we never got a chance to beat Aaron Rodgers. Well, we beat him, but not with any kind of consistency ever. So it's horrible when you have a sports injury like this that alters a season for a team, and you never wish anything like that on anybody. But, you know, Packer fans, I feel for you. That really does suck. And our current guest, Sean, is a big Packer fan as well.
Yeah, born and raised Packer fan. And, actually, when they won their last Super Bowl, I was living in New York City with a buddy of mine. And we said, hey, if the Packers win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season, we're like, well, let's get tattoos. Ha, ha, ha. It's not going to happen. Crap, we did. We won. So we had to get tattoos.
So what'd you get?
It's the state of Wisconsin with a big G in the middle of it. And when I showed my buddy, he's like, hey, do you mind if I get that tattoo as well? So shout out to another Jake friend of mine. And we got a twofer.
Oh, sweet.
The tattoo artist gave us a twofer.
And you still have it?
I haven't gotten it laser removed, no, but I have too many layers on to skeet over here.
I believe
But yeah,
you
so
don't
it's
have
under
to
there.
prove it.
Next time, it'll be a more exciting show for the live stream.
All right, there you go. We'll do the show. If you come in the summer, we don't have to have so many clothes on, but I know you love winter, and I didn't mean to insinuate.
It is Night Light, after all. I mean, I feel like, what kind of show is this?
That's right. All right, so recap for us, Sean, if you would.
Yes.
This great event coming up February 18th through the 22nd. It's the American Birkebeiner Cross-Country Ski Marathon here in Wisconsin from Cable to Hayward?
Correct. Cable to Hayward. We finish right down on Main Street. We construct what's called International Bridge. It's a temporary bridge that goes over the highway there, Highway 63. It's covered in snow. You ski literally the last leg of the race. You ski across Lake Hayward, which is adjacent to downtown. It's across the frozen lake, up over this bridge, and then you ski down into Main Street with thousands of screaming fans all cheering for you and cowbells going off and people handing out shot skis. It's just, here's the thing. Even if you're not an outdoor skier like yourself, even if you're not an outdoorsy person, winter isn't your thing, come on up to Hayward, Wisconsin on February 21st this year. Have a beer on Main Street. It's like tailgating at a Packer game. You're going to walk around and people are having fun. And don't tell me you don't catch a little bit of what's called Berkey fever. It's called Berkey fever up there, and it is this thing that people catch that they're just like, man, this is cool. I just want to be around this because it's just a celebration of winter, and it's so much fun. So even if you're not into the active sports style life, I highly suggest people try it. It's a great way to get through the long winter we have here. But if you're not, come on up and have a beer down on Main Street and catch a little Berkey fever. It's super fun. It's a beautiful time up in the Northwoods, and it's one of those things that, again, I kind of mentioned earlier. Wisconsin has so many of these great things, from Summerfest to car shows to amazing things all seasons. This is one of those winter things I feel like every Wisconsinite, Midwesterner really should check off their list.
Is there winter weather that's too cold even for you? Like you mentioned this past weekend, you and your wife, it was like 0 or below 0.
Yeah.
When do you, an avid outdoor winter sportsman, go, nope, thanks anyway?
Yeah, I mean, there is a point where, literally it's just not safe. It's not good for your lungs. Like if you're at a below 0 and you're breathing in that cold air. That's why most winter athletes you'll always see have this buff, have something to cover up their nose and mouth. But once you kind of get to that really sub-zero temperatures, I mean, you don't want to be out there for more than a half hour, an hour. And really, you're active. The second you're active, the second you're not active, now you're sweaty, now you're wet, now it's brutal. So you just got to have the right procedure set up so you can make sure you're changing, or you're getting in your car right away, or you're starting your car when you're still a mile out so it's warmed up by the time you get there, that kind of thing. So you just got to prepare a little bit. That's all.
Tell us about you've got this right around the corner, the The Gitchy game?
Gammy Games. Yeah, so that's a Northwoods tradition for the Berkey, and that's actually a pretty fun event that's coming up this weekend, and that's actually a junior ski competition. So if you're listening out there and maybe your kids are interested in Nordic skiing, I know in the Green Bay area, there's Schwaba High School has a great Nordic ski team, Bay Nordic around here. There's a lot of great Nordic ski teams all over the state, but this is it's called a junior qualifying race. So it's kids from Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, all coming out to the Hayward in Cable area. They're going to be skiing up in Cable. 350 athletes. Some athletes maybe even joining us from Canada. But it was actually started back in 1975. So this was actually a precursor to the World Cup. So it's people who wanted to get better to get to the World Cup, they'd come ski at this competition. So Get Your Gammy Games is a really fun one. It's a youth ski competition. So that one's more for if you're part of a team. So you can't really sign up today. It's one of those you kind of got to be a part of a team and already be registered for it. But after that, now January hits, we have a whole series of things that are, you can go on Berkey.com and register right now. First open weekend is called Shred to She Fat Bike. It's our women's fat bike camp. So we have a lot of our great camps that are, some of these sports for years, actually for the first few years of the Berkey in 1973. It started in 1973, and for the first few years, it was a men's only race. The women who were racing it were signing up as men and doing it as men. So
there were just as many heavy women out there as there were men.
That wanted to do it's a fat bike of the tires.
Bike camp.
Yeah.
I've heard of fat camp.
Never heard of No. To be clear, it's a fat biking. So fat biking is just big, thick tires. They're tires that are made for snow.
Yeah, okay.
And actually, 20 years ago, fat biking was mountain bike tires, but now there are tires that are double the size of mountain bike tires, and they're called fat bikes. And that's what it's really popular. Actually, this area of Wisconsin is actually one of the most popular places in the world for fat biking because you can go fat biking on trails with snow. So that's a great camp to come out of if women want to train more and get better at that. The following weekend is a classic-only ski race. It's called Sealy Hills Classic. That's January 10th. Great little race to kind of pre-qualify for the Berkey. The weekend after that is a women's ski camp. That's a really cool camp that we actually have a great New York Times bestselling author called Elise Kopecki. She's coming up, and she's going to do some cooking classes and skiing classes. It's going to be a really great weekend for women who want to get better at the sport, want to be around a great, encouraging, active community of women. And then the following weekend is what's called Berkey Tour. That's just a fun day where the whole course is open. People can ski the whole entire Berkey Tour, the whole entire course, and just kind of get to know the Berkey Trail. And then once February hits, then we're really prepping up for our big Berkey week. But we have all of January. You can come on up to Cable and Hayward, Wisconsin. It's a beautiful winter wonderland up there. Ever since we got that great dumping of snow on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, the snow's just clinging to the trees. You drive up there, you put on some Bing Crosby, and you enjoy yourself up there, man. I tell you, it's absolutely beautiful.
Very well done. Where does the name Berkey come from? I know Birkenstock. How do you get the Birkebeiner and then Berkey?
So this race is really steeped in a lot of history and lore, not just the past 50 years that we've been doing it here, but the word Birkebeiner is Norwegian for birch legger. And so this dates all the way back to 1206. Let me take you to Norway, 1206. There's a civil war. There's a prince by the name of Prince Håkon, and his father, King Edward, was murdered. And so the country's at war, and this prince is the last surviving lineage of the royal family. So two warriors, Birkebeiner warriors, and they wore birch. And again, this was the poorer faction of the two civil fighting classes, and they couldn't afford real armor, so they wore birch leggings. So you can imagine birch bark, birch leggings. So they literally wore birch bark on their legs. That's where the word Birkebeiner, birch legger, comes from. Okay. So these two warriors skied this Prince Håkon to safety, skied him away from the battle and kept the lineage going. And in Norwegian history and lore, he was one of the greatest kings that Norway's ever had. And so there's a whole history of it. And actually, the Berkey, the American Birkebeiner, there are Birkebeiner races all over the country, all over the world. Sorry, there's a Canadian Birkebeiner. There's the Ingeden Marathon in Sweden. There's 19 races that the Berkey's actually a part of a series that people do. They'll go all over the world and they'll do these races all over the world. So they all kind of reenact this rescuing of this prince. One of the races actually in Norway, the skiers actually have to ski with, I think it's 4 pounds, maybe 5 pounds. I could check myself there. They have to ski with a 4 or 5 pound sack that represents the baby. So they actually have to ski with weight. What? So anyways, there's a whole history. We could go down a rabbit hole. It's for a whole nother episode. But yeah, there's a lot of unique history behind this race.
Sean Connolly is my guest. He is the marketing and communications director for the Birkebeiner Ski Foundation. So that's incredible. If you broke that out during your job interview, that's a slam dunk. The guy actually knows what it means. We got to hire him. You've been all over the state. You talked very articulately about some of the amazing activities Wisconsin has to offer. A big city NFL team in a small town, the biggest music festival, all these great things we have. Where is your favorite spot in our state to hang out in the summer, and where in the winter?
Great questions. On the summer, it's hard to beat a lake, a Northwoods Lake, and there's so many.
Totally
actually,
agree.
Not to keep plugging the Hayward Cable area, but the Hayward Lakes region is amazing, and they have the world's largest muskie up there. You can find mounted in a little bar, and then they have the giant muskie up there. So anywhere in the state you can find a lake that you can just get out on, and actually an amazing spot where you can go and pull off the lake and get to that lakeside bar. There's that is so much fun. Actually, just go up to Chute Pond, just north of here, outside a mountain in Suring. There's some Everbreeze Resort. Shout out there. My Uncle Danny plays there pretty regularly with the Upright Basin. It's a great place to take the pontoon out, find a sandbar, cool off, and then pull over to the lakeside bar. I mean, that's hard to beat.
Dude, so I lived in Southern California for years. Love the ocean.
Yeah.
But to me, I agree with you. Nothing beats going to my grandma's cottage in the Three Lakes area.
Yeah.
And finding a supper club at night. Like you've been in the lake all day,
100%.
you're sunburnt, then you go and you get if you're a kid, like a Coke and some fish or something, or if you're an adult, an old fashioned. I totally agree with you that the Northwoods in the summer, you just can't beat it. We've got about a minute left. Winter. Hayward?
I mean, for skiing, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, again, right now it's a winter wonderland. You got the cross country skiing. And power sports people, the snowmobiling out there is amazing.
Yeah.
The ice fishing out there is amazing. So, I mean, hey, if you're not an active winter sports person, get out there and do some snowmobiling and some ice fishing. But Pete, it sounds like we got to hit up a supper club. I mean, I really
think so.
That sounds like our next
Winter or
venture
summer?
together. But either or. I'm telling you.
So you snowmobile it up to the supper club, or you pontoon boat it to the supper club?
Exactly.
I'd probably go pontoon boat.
Come
but,
on up.
For the company, I would climb on a snowmobile and probably break it somehow. But Sean, this has been very fun. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah,
you
pleasure.
too. We'll do it again, and good luck with the Birkebeiner 500. It sounds like a maniac event. Conrad will be out there, I'm sure. Christine and Slinger says, Stand By Me, based on a short story by Stephen King called The Body. Both book and movie are great. However, I loved all Rob's films and admire him. She's talking about, of course, the late, great Rob Reiner. We are coming back, and we're going to read some of your texts, and then we're going to welcome author Laura Enright to the show. After the news, it's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite here on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Rudolph is a holiday classic, and there's a Wisconsin connection. Maury Laws composed music for the animated show in 1964. He continued arranging hundreds of songs from his Appleton home after leaving New York 20 years later. During that time, Laws created one quirky pop song. Do you know what it is? The answer coming up.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is sort of where a lot of people's core Christmas memories come from.
Emily Locke with the Oshkosh Museum on holiday traditions around Rudolph. Laws worked for the TV production company behind the show and also wrote music for Frosty the Snowman. And about the silly song he composed?
It was an
Yes, itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. Laws died in 2019 at the age of 95, but his music lives on as a wonderful slice of Wisconsin. I'm Terry Barr for the Civic Media Radio Network.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing
Hey, Laura.
Hey,
How's it going?
can you hear me okay?
We can hear you great. It sounds
Great.
fantastic.
It's doing good. How about you?
Good. I'm just wondering, can we go at 6:35 instead of 6:20? I got my times mixed up. I apologize. Would that be
No,
okay?
unacceptable. No, that's fine.
You're the best. Thank you.
Okay, I'll see you at
sit tight.
6:35.
Outstanding. Thanks so much. Appreciate
Sure.
it.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back. You know, it just shows my dedication, Conrad, I think, to the audience and to my Wisconsin brethren and those who love winter, because I don't, that I'm willing to have a guy like Sean on who spoke so passionately about winter. You hate winter as much as I do.
I started hating it as soon as I gave up snowboarding.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll do it. Seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to do something to get yourself through it. That's why I
Exactly,
seriously
yeah.
have talked to my wife, like, why don't we cross-country ski or do something just to, you got to embrace it to a degree, I think. So I think I need to surround myself with more people like Sean.
You know, I think the biggest thing I do in the winter is take my trash out.
Listen, you got to, I hope you stretch out first because, as we all know.
Yeah.
Our question of the night, folks, is what is your favorite Rob Reiner film? We were trying to put a positive spin on a horrible tragedy from last night, but his legacy is incredible, and the work he's left behind. And I'm fascinated by people that contributed so much to humanity and brought so much joy that that had to be our question of the night. And Mark from Prairie du Sac says, Eric from Madison says, A Few Good Men is a great movie. Totally agree, Eric. That's one of those movies I cannot turn off when I am flipping around the dial. Mark from Prairie du Sac says, my outside lighting consists of one laser light projector that has dancing points of green and red lights. Those are kind of cool. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah.
So it kind of like, you
Yeah.
got all these like red and green dots in
that's
the
great.
trees. I love that.
Saves you some time, too, of putting actual lights up.
I have a feeling they made it for people like me.
Yeah.
And Mark. Tom from New Berlin says, as Mike in All in the Family, his character was the same throughout his life. Blessed person will be lost, not forgotten. Totally agree, Tom. He played Michael Stivic, and his back and forth with Archie Bunker is so classic and is still hilarious today. Such a great show. Barb from Waukesha in the 262 says, I'll have what she's having when Harry met Sally. Another film I kind of forgot that Rob Reiner directed. Excellent. Thank you, Barb. Mark from Prairie du Sac again says, and the great connection between the grandson played by Freddie Savage. I love that he called him Freddie Savage. I was in a meeting one time and a producer referred to Sandra Bullock as, oh, we'll call Sandy Bullock to do it. I was like, you call her Sandy? Like Fred Savage. Mark just said Freddie Savage. And the storyteller, grandfather Peter Falk. That's, of course, The Princess Bride. Christine from Slinger in the 414 says, Stand By Me, based on a short story. Oh, I read this, didn't I? Are we caught up on text? No way am I already caught up.
We got some more in your hand.
I do. I have the social media text. Monica from Mount Horeb in the 608 says, Stand By Me, fitting because it's narrated as a remembrance after his friend was murdered, which you don't find out until the end. And that was such a great twist. I remember the first time I saw that. Such a great, just a great angle. Turning to social media, Danny Wheels, we read that one. Tony Diamond, my pal Tony Diamond says, for me, it's a toss-up between When Harry Met Sally, Spinal Tap, Misery, and Stand By Me. Oh, and A Few Good Men is pretty epic. Yeah, you could literally, I mean, every movie the guy did was just solid work. American President was good. Scott Tom says, Stand By Me, no doubt about it. It made me again like adaptations of Stephen King's works. May the Reiners rest easy. Well said, Scott. So I had so much to talk about, Con. What else do you want to say? Can we get Mike on the show? We should talk Bears-Packers. I know Packer fans are probably not thrilled with that game being this week, but it's Bears-Packers, part 2.
Just, giving Caleb Williams more time in the pocket is It's a little tough for Packers.
Wayne Larrivee, the guy is. Here's what I love about Wayne Larrivee. He was the Chicago Bears play-by-play guy years ago, and I think he did Bulls games too. He was so good. And when he came to Green Bay, I was like, what's he going to Green Bay for? Well, I didn't know that was his lifelong favorite team. So when he took the Packer gig, he was taking the job he's always wanted. But he's such a pro. Like, I love that in his play-by-play, you can hear him cheer for the Packers because he'll end something like, and he go, oh, and he's down just short. Like, he's cheering, but he's also being, objective and a great play-by-play guy. And he gave Caleb Williams, he gave Bo Nix a big compliment. He said, this kid is great. Caleb Williams will be great, but he's not as good as Bo Nix. Caleb is in his first year with a decent coach, so it'll be interesting. That quarterback class, Conrad, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Drake May, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Jackson Dart, too, maybe?
Jackson Dart actually was a year later.
A year later? Okay.
Yeah, but no, it's a fantastic
Unbelievable
class. I mean, Drake May is playing out of his mind, too.
Wow, who would have thought?
The Patriots are back to
Patriots
they're
are already back.
11-3. It's just
they can suck it. Can I say that on the radio?
I think so.
I'm not saying what.
If
I'm just
referring
saying,
to the Patriots, yes.
Yeah. Also, in the world of entertainment, Dick Van Dyke turned 100 over the weekend. Very cool. And here's what I love about Dick Van Dyke. He says, it's not enough. I want more. He wants more life and more time. Folks, if you have not seen the Chris Martin, Dick Van Dyke discussion on YouTube where they sing together, and Dick Van Dyke is kind of talking about his life. They had this big party for him apparently over the weekend on December 13th, which was his birthday. They sang songs, all this great stuff. He said, I feel really good for 100. Sometimes I have more energy than others, but I never wake up in a bad mood. Happiness is a choice. And I think a lot of these people that live to be 100 years old, now he's had an incredible life. He's had success on stage, screen, radio, everything. But that's an attitude. I'm not saying it's going to get you to 100, but pretty cool stuff. All right, we are going to break for the news, and you'll get a weather update, folks. Maybe some sports, maybe some Hollywood beats, Con. Hollywood news.
Yeah.
Coming by way of Schwaba. And then Laura Enright, author Laura Enright, one of my favorite guests, will be here after the news. We're going to talk to her about a new book she's working on, and we might even delve a little bit into the mob, which is always fun for me to talk about. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite. We are coming right back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Yeah, give me a piece of my daddy never had.
From Ashwaubenon to Alloway, this is 97.9 WGBW.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Police in Providence, Rhode Island asking for the public's help in tracking down the suspect in the mass shooting at Brown University Saturday. 2 students were killed, 9 others injured. Authorities releasing new video today showing a person of interest. ABC's Rena Roy has details.
This person of interest is wearing all black, a black beanie, a black face mask. They are really asking the public for help here. They are offering a $50,000 reward for help in identifying who this person is and information that leads to an arrest here.
Police in Los Angeles say Nick Reiner has been booked on suspicion of murder in the stabbing deaths of his parents, director Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer. Sources tell ABC News Reiner's daughter discovered her parents at their Brentwood home on Sunday. In Australia, the investigation into the Bondi Beach mass shooting continues. Police say a father and son carried out the anti-Semitic attack during Hanukkah celebrations Sunday. This is ABC News.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly to mostly cloudy for tonight, low near 10, rising temps late. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the mid-30s. And partly sunny on Wednesday, highs pretty close to 30 degrees. Rain Wednesday night, rain to snow Thursday. Currently, it's 10 above.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Small businesses are the heart of America. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating.
Welcome back. It is Monday, folks, and it is great to have you here. I wait all weekend so I can be back in this chair talking about really fun stuff, whether it's happening in our state, like the Birkebeiner. Would you ever do something like that, Con?
You know, actually, when I was in 8th grade, we did a cross-country skiing unit in gym. And that's the last time I did it.
But you were really good at it. Your coach told you showed a lot of promise.
Yes. I got an A+.
All right. That's right up there with snowshoeing. All right. So this is exciting, folks. I'm very excited to welcome my next guest. She is one of my favorite authors, mostly because she writes about stuff that I find absolutely fascinating. And we'll talk about some of her books tonight. But tonight, specifically, she's here to tell us about a new project she's working on. And she joins us tonight from Chicago over the stream, Laura Enright. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Thanks for having me on again.
Oh, it's great. It's great to have you here. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good. I love the snow, by the way. I love winter.
Do you really?
I
Even
do.
Where in Chicago do you live? Because Chicago can be a real pain in the winter.
I live like on the north, like near O'Hare.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I don't like summer. I'm not very good with the heat.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Fair enough. Do you do any
Yeah.
do you do outdoor winter sports, Laura?
I shovel. Like last week. No,
That's a
not
great
much.
workout.
Not much. Not much. But I do. I don't know what it is. I know people come by me and say, "Oh, it's so cold," and I have to bite my tongue, and I know they think I'm crazy, but it doesn't bother me.
Oh, that's great. Do you have? Before we get into some of your books, I have to ask you: were you a Rob Reiner fan?
Oh yeah, he was great.
Absolutely.
This was horrible. I can't believe this.
It's on some level, like I thought the worst on this immediately. I thought, oh, it might be a political thing because he was very political, or it might be a terrible break-in. As horrible as this might sound, when you hear it's someone close to people, are you kind of almost relieved, like, okay, this isn't just totally random. The kid had serious problems, if in fact it turns out to be his son, which I believe that's who they think it is. But it's a tragedy either way, but it's a tragedy that who it was as well. It's just just awful.
You know, it's such a sad family drama that was what, because I think I heard that it could have been his son before I read the information and stuff.
Right.
And like, if that's the case, it's such a tragedy, because if it is for the reason it was, there was no helping the kid.
Yeah,
in some ways, or it sounded like it. And I feel for the kid as well, because it's like, I've known people who have been lost like that. So I
It's
have them in my family.
oh yeah. Well, it's a tragedy either way. I took a little bit of comfort in that it's just not some random thing that people. I know people do those things, and they seem like they're happening more and more. Like the violence, whether it's political or you just don't like someone or someone cuts you off on the road. Anyway, there's no way around it. It's a terrible thing. But we're trying to put a positive spin on it tonight and talk about, this incredible legacy that this guy who was this great artist left behind. And he was a Nepo baby. Like his dad was Carl Reiner. Like talk about filling shoes. You could argue he filled them and then some. Do you have a favorite Rob Reiner film?
It would probably have to be Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap. I didn't get a chance to see the other one. I have to still see that, but
I haven't either. Yeah.
That was just such so much genius there. I liked The Princess Bride too. I thought that was okay, but that was probably This is Spinal Tap is probably my favorite, and it was ahead of its time really.
Yeah,
with the
absolutely.
mockumentary. Yeah, so yeah.
There's another great. I always say the movie Real Life by Albert Brooks. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that was kind of ahead of its time too with reality TV. Yeah, and they were best friends, Albert Brooks and Rob Reiner. You could obviously see the sensibilities. There's a great story that I've heard Rob Reiner talk about on talk shows, and he said, or maybe it was Carl Reiner who said the funniest person I've ever seen was Albert Einstein. And that was Albert Brooks's real name. And Albert Brooks would come over to the Reiner's house as a 12-year-old and crack up Carl Reiner, a comedy legend. So it's funny that they were both part of mockumentaries that were.
Well, that interaction between Carol O'Connor and Rob Reiner when they were on, it was so well done. Because either way, it could have been crazy. It could have really been a caricature. But it was so well done. And Rob Reiner portrayed a guy who was so well-intentioned, but didn't always hit the mark, sort of, right. So, but yeah, that was really groundbreaking too.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. Let's get to your new book you're working on. I love the things you write about, Laura.
Oh, thanks.
You've written about a movie with, your Meet the Parents story, which involved my sometime writing partner, Greg Liana. Loved that. You've written about vampires, and you've written about the mob. And I've always had a fascination with the mafia. But tell us about this new book about a loan shark, or maybe he wasn't a loan shark, that you're working on right now.
Well, it's been a work in progress for quite some time. Several years ago, I met a man who I met at the library. We got together, we met in a room, we talked. He told me this story about his dad, who was a really big wheeler dealer in Chicago, a big businessman, doing really good. And he was Italian. I'm going to I'm just going to go by his first name right now. Sam. He was Italian. And a lot of Italians did have connections to the mob, even if it was just friendship-wise, because they grew up in the neighborhoods,
Yeah.
But he had nothing to do with the mob as far as, business for them. So, but unfortunately, he kind of got mixed up into something. And the next thing you know, he's being accused of being a loan shark for the outfit in the 1960s. Wow. And this was around the time that Bobby Kennedy was doing the what do you call it? The
conventions?
The mobster, like the hearings.
Going
the
after
hearings.
the gangsters.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a big thing. And the government was really trying to get after the organized crime. And so I think they were just it was just a massive push. And I think he just got embroiled in this whole thing at the wrong time. So it really affected his family poorly. And it's like, he lost nobody wanted to do business with him. He had started a bank with a consortium of people, a savings and loan. That went south. They started investigating that. He could never get that spark back up after this. And he was never found guilty of being the loan shark. I forget what it was he was found guilty of, but he served 3 months of it. But it was like really kind of questionable. But after, he still couldn't. It affected his career so badly. He could never get back that he was always on the run trying to get the next score. And then
Yeah.
the gentleman that I spoke to, who I now call my friend Bob, he was a young guy at the time. He was entering college, and it really affected him. It sent him into a psychotic break, sort of. The whole thing, because the FBI they were tailing them. It was him, his sister, his mother, and his father. They were tailing him on dates. They were tailing him around the town, tailing his father. Every time they opened the paper in Chicago, there was this information. There was this article about his dad, and it really worked on him.
I think anytime you hear something like that, like someone's wrongfully accused, and it does happen, but your first instinct, your first instinct is kind of to say, "Come on," But like, how does he have any idea how his father got like kind of suspected of that?
Oh yeah, there's a definite story there. His father, there were three brothers who had they would buy buildings and fix them up, and this is back in the 60s. And so they wanted to get at this hotel, and they didn't have enough money for him. Now they had a bad reputation as far as paying back money as it was. So there was another man by the name of Sandor, and he introduced the brothers to Sam. And Sam, they were asking him, because he did know people in the mob. He was friends with people in the mob. They were asking him to help them get a loan from the mob. And he told them, don't do it. This is nothing but trouble. You're never gonna be able to pay him back. It's it's quagmire. And they were insistent. He refused to do it, but Sandor actually did it. And so when inevitably they did get in trouble, and they did get behind in their payments, and the guys were beating them up and such, they went to Sam for help, and said, can you talk to your friends? Can you do something about this? And Sam did at one point talk to the, I forget who it was. I think it was Ricardo, actually, who was in charge at that time.
Oh, wow.
And said, can you just give him a break, And that worked for a little while, but they messed up again. And so then that's when they went to the feds to try to save their own lives. And then they embroiled Sam into this, basically lying him into the whole story. As he was there, he was involved because of them, but he wasn't beating them up or he had nothing to do with that loan portion of it. But they had the narrative they wove for the FBI was that he was more involved than he was. And so then that's when the investigation began.
That's author Laura Enright talking to us about her new book. Does it have a title yet?
Mm-mm.
No, okay.
No, unfortunately.
How long does it take to write a book like that when you have so much research?
This took a long time. I did finish the reason I'm saying it's not ready yet is because I'm hoping it's going to be out next week. Not next week. Hey, how about that?
You need a title.
But this was like almost a decade in the making, because there were certain things came up in life that kind of throw you off.
Yeah.
But then also too, the research was something. I mean, I'm researching the outfit. I'm researching this case. I'm looking through newspaper articles, old newspaper articles and such. And it took what? And then you have to get everything. And not only that, I'm also Bob is telling me all about his dad's business experience and stuff, and his little things and things like that. And I have to gather all this together and put it in. It's kind of like with the Meet the Parents story. You have to gather all that stuff and put it into a digestible narrative.
That's got to be
it was fascinating though.
When like your subject, this was his father. Does he fear for his life at all coming forward to tell a story whenever the mob is involved? It's got to be a little nerve-wracking.
Well, and that's one reason I wanted to, I'm only using like first names right now. First of all, we have to go through a lawyer and see how, let the lawyer read it, see if there's anything there. This happened in the 60s. It's now 2026. My hope is, most of these guys who are involved are gone.
Yeah.
So my hope is there isn't a problem with that as far as that's concerned. And I wanted to make sure, that's why I wanted to really make sure I got all the stories from the newspapers and things like that, because I wanted proof of what was
Right.
going on. But yeah, no, I mean, there's a little. He was more worried. I think he was more concerned when he was younger, and
Yeah, right.
at one point, his dad had a couple choices: either sing for the feds or be killed by the mob or something like that. Something like it. And he didn't. The mob didn't kill him, but he also didn't sing for the feds. But that was always on their mind. Either he was going to be arrested by the feds, or the mob was going to kill him as a preemptive strike. So he didn't sing for him.
Let's pick up right there after this very short break. And if you do use a ghost writer name, just make sure it's not Schwaba, Laura. Okay, so we are coming right back with
I'm
our
going to have to
guest,
change the whole document now.
author Laura Enright. It's Pete Schwaba at Nightlight. We're coming back.
Don't believe in anyone that you can't save.
Sturgeon Spirits of Oshkosh. Next door to their cocktail bar and tasting room on Oregon Street is the Ready Room, open for your next event. A private bar with aviation-inspired details. It's ideal for intimate parties, conferences, or holiday parties and reunions. Sturgeon Spirits, 2663 Oregon Street in Oshkosh, and at grocery and liquor stores throughout the Fox Valley. As you begin your holiday travels, buy local, drink global, and take a piece of Oshkosh with you. SturgeonSpirits.com.
Today's job market is full of demand for skilled trade workers. Electricians, welders, mechanics, these and other trades are the backbone of every community. They're also a huge part in making sure the Army National Guard is always fulfilling its mission of service to our country and communities. Soldiers train to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. The skilled trades these soldiers perform are the same ones needed in today's civilian workforce. Army National Guard soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. With options from plumber to helicopter mechanic and everything in between, soldiers are able to select the trades that best fit their lives. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession and serve your community and country by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
You are listening to your local Civic Media radio station on air. Thank you. Did you know we are always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app too? And if you miss a show or game, find it wherever you get your podcasts or on our website, civicmedia.us.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off. You've got this. Yes, you do. See how we've got you at yougotthis.usaging.org. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
You're a storyteller, negotiator, artist, innovator. Whatever your passion, whatever your skills, behind the scenes or in front, you belong here. A career in broadcast media. Local radio and TV stations in every town and city need someone like you. So do what you love and bring your talent to life. Your passion, your skills, your career. You belong here. Learn more at youbelonghere.me.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Great to have you.
Pete Schwaba's
with me on
dance
this,
party.
Beautiful, chilly, I think we'll say, Monday night here in downtown Green Bay as we broadcast statewide and parts beyond over the stream and the app. My guest currently is author Laura Enright, who is working on a book about a man wrongfully accused of being a loan shark for the Chicago outfit. Laura, so what most of my mob knowledge is from movies. I'll be honest. I've
Mhm.
never been in the mob. I've never done a hit. I've never been a gangster. I've applied, but they didn't want me. What exactly does a loan shark do? I know that based on what I've seen in movies, books,
Mhm.
they give people loans that the bank won't accept. Correct?
Yeah, they basically, and this was big during the 60s. We didn't, in some respects, the credit card companies are kind of legal loan sharks now.
No kidding.
It's like, yeah, it's become such an industry, but back in the 60s, it wasn't, getting credit wasn't that easy to do. So, like, for example, with these brothers, they didn't have they had already screwed up their credit, and they didn't have the backing to go to a bank and say, hey, yeah, trust us. So they go into the loan shark. Loan shark loans them a certain amount of money, but the thing with the loan shark is you don't have a month to pay it off. Let's say you have a week before they start charging. They're charging interest, and the interest they charge is insane. And so let's say you borrowed $100. By the end of the month, you might owe 1,000, that sort of thing.
Jeez.
And if you don't, eventually what a lot of people were paying off was just the interest as opposed to the principal. And it's almost like a slavery in a way. They're always stuck in that.
Wow.
So that's basically what it is. And the mob gives the loan shark money, and then the loan shark gives it to the people, and then collects the interest. The mob takes their take, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's kind of
Crazy.
a really sick practice.
I feel sometimes that's how insurance companies are. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you pay us every month, and if something happens, maybe
maybe
we'll cover it.
it.
It's like, wait a minute. That's no
You didn't
different
need
than
that
what
leg.
the mob does.
Yeah.
All right. So how is this different? Writing a book like this, you've also written a book called The Meet the Parents Story, telling the story of your friend and mine, Greg Liana's, dealing with the studio and how his little independent film became this huge grossing live action film. That took a lot of research on your part too, and you had Greg as a resource. But how is it writing? How is it different writing a book like this about this non-loan shark, I guess, and a book like about Meet the Parents and the movie making process?
Yeah, the research was a little easier to do because so many of the people were still around.
Yeah.
And it was a little easier to access this. This is like, my math is bad, but however long it would be from 26 to 1964, that's a long time. And a lot of these people are gone. And that, I could question, not that I'd be questioning some of them out, right? But, and then too, you go by a lot of newspaper articles, and some of that wasn't always, there was a lot of yellow journalism still going on,
Right.
and so you have to kind of look at it with a jaundiced eye. But yeah, it was kind of fun. It's like it's kind of like when I wrote Chicago's Most Wanted, and there's a lot of history in that as well. It's not just about the mob. It has a chapter on gangsters, but it's got all things about Chicago. And even researching the fire, for example, I had to go back through these archives from the 1800s to get an idea of what was going on. So it's kind of like a little mystery, putting together a little mystery. And my thing was, and I want to figure out, wait, Sam was not an angel, and he did know a lot of, the mobsters and all that. He was a good guy. He was a stand-up guy, but he wasn't perfect. And I don't want it to seem like, I do think he got railroaded, but I also think maybe he could have done things different to avoid that sort of thing. So I'm trying to present that sort of aspect to it too.
It's funny. Well, I grew up on the Northwest side until I moved up to northern Wisconsin, but in the city, probably not too far from you, the Portage Park, Jefferson Park area.
That's not far at all.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, there was some it was a lot of cops' kids, and they could be pretty tough. And then you had some kids where their dad, you didn't really know what he did.
Yeah,
yeah.
They
They got a Corvette, and the guy never worked, so I always felt like when I got older, I'm like, they were probably mob people because they didn't talk about it, and you don't know where the money came from. But I never had any proof. But, you know, when you're like a teenager and you move to Wisconsin, you want to tell all your friends, yeah, there's a lot of people in my neighborhood that were in the mob.
Yeah. But it could be. I mean, you know, Chicago is made of neighborhoods, and you
For
have some
sure.
of the Italian neighborhoods, and the Italians did make a go of the mob, and there was reasons for that. You know, back when they came to America in the late 1800s, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for them.
Right.
And unfortunately, one of the opportunities, you know, you had prohibition and all. We already had not mobs, but kind of, you know, underground work in Chicago to begin. It just needed somebody to coalesce that whole thing, and prohibition was the perfect thing for that. It afforded them a lot of money, and they were able to develop and actually become very sophisticated in a lot of ways. So
let's, Laura, next time you're here, I would love to talk to you about that book, Chicago's Most Wanted. It's an older title, but you talk about these great criminals. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, I love what you write about. You got vampires, movies, the mob. It's so great, and it must be fun to be you. But I cannot thank you enough for your exactly. Thank you for your time tonight. Keep us posted on this book, and then let's find another time when we can come back and talk Most Wanted. That would be
definitely. Okay.
All right. Have a great night.
Thanks so much, Pete.
Laura.
Take care.
Anytime. That's Laura Enright. Check out her work. You could just Google her. She's on Amazon. All these great books, especially about the making of Meet the Parents and what Greg Liana, the writer and my sometime writing partner, had to go through. Very fascinating stuff. Are you telling me to wrap it up, Con?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you took a powder. I didn't think you were still here. I'm glad you are.
Well, I did.
We are coming back for Act 3. We're going to talk some theater. I'm going to read your text. That's coming up next. After the news, it's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're just too good to be true.
Hits 97.9 FM, WGBW, Denmark, Green Bay.
ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. Shock in Hollywood and beyond over the murder of actor and filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. The LAPD says their son Nick Reiner is in custody on suspicion of murder. Reiner's daughter made the grisly discovery.
She found her mom and dad yesterday. They had been stabbed to death. They were down. The 911 call was for medical aid to the LA Fire Department. They then came and they realized this is going to be a police call and that the police department was going to need to come in.
ABC's Alex Stone. President Trump today declaring his intent to sign an executive order to make fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. He also revealed his administration is considering changing how the law regards marijuana.
We are considering that, yeah.
Are you planning?
Because a lot of people want to see it, the reclassification, because it leads to tremendous amounts of research that can't be done unless you reclassify. So we are looking at that very strongly.
This is ABC News. One state wants you to come experience the magic of the Christmas movie capital of the country. ABC's Sherry Preston.
Connecticut is working to become a destination for holiday movie fans, promoting some of those charming towns featured in films on Lifetime and Hallmark. The state has launched the first ever Christmas movie trail, a self-guided tour of locations where 22 films were made, including Christmas on Honeysuckle Lane. That was shot in a town called Wethersfield, Connecticut. About 100 new holiday movies are put out every year. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Massachusetts man Brian Walsh was found guilty of murdering his wife, who vanished from the couple's home on New Year's Day nearly 3 years ago. Her body was never found. Walsh is set to be sentenced Wednesday and faces life in prison. The 12th largest Powerball jackpot still up for grabs as the total pot reaches $1.1 billion. The next drawing set for tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm Stephanie Officer, ABC News.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly to mostly cloudy for tonight, low near 10, rising temps late. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the mid-30s. And partly sunny on Wednesday, highs pretty close to 30 degrees. Rain Wednesday night, rain to snow Thursday. Currently, it's 12 degrees.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
You are listening to your local Civic Media radio station on air. Thank you. Did you know we are always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app too? And if you miss a show or game, find it wherever you get your
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's alright, it's alright.
And now, a guy who believes a penny saved isn't jack Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back to Nightlight, folks. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a great night. Hope you had a great day. And if you didn't, stick with us. We'll try to make you feel better. We've had a really fun show so far. Con, where would you rank this in shows we've had so far this week?
The best this week.
Definitely, right?
Exactly.
Without question?
Yep.
We've talked about a number of things. Obviously, very sad news about Rob Reiner. But that did lead us to a fun question of the night to help us celebrate all the things that Rob Reiner left behind. You know what, Con? Let's start things off with a bang and reintroduce our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question. Pregunta. Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question. Questions.
What is your favorite Rob Reiner film? What would you say is winning so far? Princess Bride?
Princess Bride or
Stand By Me?
Yeah, Stand By Me. I feel like A Few Good Men we've heard.
It's hard to go wrong. Nobody said The American President, which was a little cheesy, but Misery, too, was another one, kind of one I had forgotten about. but that is our question of the night. You can let us know what you think at 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can also weigh in on any of the topics we are talking about here tonight. As usual on Nightlight, it is always more fun when you guys participate. So do not hesitate. Be part of the show. We also talked about Dick Van Dyke, who turned 100 over the weekend. December 13th, he says 100 years is not enough. He has a great life. He's a happy guy. Now, he's been very successful, but I do think that Dick Van Dyke, as well as a lot of people that live that age, to be that age, just have a great outlook on life. Where would you say you stand, Conrad, on as far as being a positive person goes? And how do you translate that? How long do you think you'll live based on your outlook right now?
I was going to say in the summer, I'm really positive.
Summer, it's 85. Winter, it's 42.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think I didn't realize this, but you said he has a 54-year-old wife?
Dick Van Dyke, 57? 54 or 57, yeah. She's half his age,
that's
basically.
That's a pretty big age
That's
gap.
a big gap. It you know what? It was more significant when he was 68 and she was 22.
Is that when they started dating?
I have no idea. No, I don't think so. I think he's been married a few times. He probably has children older than his wife, but seriously, once you get past a certain age, you know.
Age is just a number.
It's not exactly like he's much older than her. It's not like he's robbing the cradle, though. Let's be honest.
I'm just like, you know, that's pretty big age gap.
I know what you're wondering. Can he still do it? And I have no idea. I don't want to know. I don't want to picture it.
In a certain night, he has to be really positive that day.
Right. What if she likes guys even older than him? He's so immature at 100. I want a 112-year-old.
Where are they at?
Who knows what the hell's going on in that Van Dyke household? But if you want to see something really cool, go to Google and Google Dick Van Dyke and Chris Martin from Coldplay. It's just a great. He just talks to Dick Van Dyke about his life and being old and how he got there, and then they sing a song together, and it's so cool. And Dick Van Dyke, one of the truly famous people I would really try to meet. There's some you wouldn't walk across the street to meet. Mark Wahlberg.
Pete Schwaba.
Boy, if you're seeking out Pete Schwaba, your life is seriously devoid of celebrity. But, you know, and then there's people that if I saw Albert Brooks, I wouldn't introduce myself. But most of the people, I would leave them alone. I would just go, oh, it was cool to see them.
What about Rob Schneider?
I met him. Was nonplussed. I mean, you know. He was a funny comic. He did the HBO Young Comedian special in like 1988 before I even started. And he was funny. Like he was a funny comic. He's a little political now. And when, you know, if a comic talks about politics and can make it funny, great. He's kind of a one-trick pony right now.
You know, he did say something recently about his famous movie.
Which one is that?
It's Deuce Bigelow.
Oh, of course.
He said, yeah, I don't think they do it nowadays with Disney. Because it was a Disney film, I guess.
Because they got smart and only made good movies? We're going to remake it. It's called Douche Bigelow. What do you say,
There we
Rob?
go.
Can we get you to sign in? So, yeah, but he was funny. He used to do a joke about the pizza guy showing up, and he says, hey, honey, you got some money? The pizza guy's here. And the guy flips out. Hey, I'm not the pizza guy, all right? This is just what I'm doing now. And he goes, oh, sorry. Yeah, let's call up and order a round bread thing with sausage. Yeah, he was a good comic. So anyway, let us know, folks, what your favorite Rob Reiner film is and weigh in on other stuff. I saw this text, Donna Marie, on the stream. I'm sorry, I just saw it for our previous guest, Laura Enright. She said, it sounds good. Can't wait to read it. Yeah, Laura's a very good writer. And in the first, it was fun to talk to her because we've had her on the show a couple other times. She's always engaging. She writes about cool stuff, and that's what I like about Laura so much. In the first hour, we also had Sean Connolly here, who told us all about a really cool ski event, the Burke Marathon. Is that
Birkenbeiner?
Birkenbeiner Marathon.
Yes.
Cross-country ski marathon. The third largest in the world from Cable to Hayward. And Sean is a big-time outdoorsman. He is part of our Nightlight window fun, which I will post shortly. We took a picture of Sean in his skis. on the closest thing we could find to a snow hill here in downtown Green Bay. So it was fun to have Sean on and Laura. And then coming up at 7:20 in studio will be Teresa Apertola-Sergo. I hope I'm saying her name's right. I did try to do a Google thingy and could not find a video. But she will be here. She's a stage actress and very involved with the Green Bay Community Theater. And we had, who was the guy we had on last week? Martin Prevost from the Green Bay Community Theater. A really fantastic organization. They do great work. And she's going to tell us about a couple upcoming events they have there. We'll talk a little acting. And let's see, we did the question of the night. What am I missing, Con? I think we're good. We're caught up, right?
We do got some stream text if you want.
Yeah. Donna Marie, who I just mentioned, said The Princess Bride is a classic. That's her favorite Rob Reiner film. Dave on the stream says Stephen King's 1982 collection, Different Seasons. 3 of the novellas have been adapted into films. Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption. Apt Pupil. I forgot about that movie. And Stand By Me, based on The Body. Well done, Dave. Good research. Dave is he's a regular card catalog. Do you even know what the card catalog is?
The card catalog is where you put all your sports cards, right?
It could be. No, that's like how you found something in a library before the Google.
Oh.
The card catalog. I don't even know. I kind of forgot about the card catalog.
I learned the, what? I don't even remember what it is now, though.
Dewey Decimal System. There's all kinds of fun stuff.
Yes, I learned that in middle school.
I mean, Dave was a
elementary.
literal encyclopedia here with this knowledge. Fantastic. Donna Marie also says, saw the new Spinal Tap movie. Rob was in it, and he looked good. It was funny, but nothing beats the original. Yeah, I've heard mixed stuff on the new Spinal Tap movie, Donna Marie. I'm glad you liked it, though, because I've not heard great things. Sometimes it always seems like a little desperate when people make, when they make sequels 40 years later, I feel like it's like a trip down memory lane for the artists, or I don't know. Sometimes I guess you get a great script, but it seems like those are few and far between. But thank you for the text, Donna Marie. And Craig Knitt, our pal on stream, says, so many of Rob Reiner's films are absolute favorites. One thing I was thinking about is the film The Bucket List. Prior to that film, no one had their own lists, but the phrase became part of the worldwide lexicon. Great point, Craig. I think that was Morgan Freeman. The Bucket List. Yeah, I forgot about that. You know, Bucket List, Con?
I've seen it, yes.
You've seen the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, do you have a bucket list?
Not yet.
Do you have a bucket?
I do have a bucket in my car, actually. It has some clothes in it.
The perfect place to keep a list.
So this weekend I watched, Friday night, and for the show, I came home and I watched the new Knives Out.
Oh, yeah. You were excited about that. How was that?
Wow. I was super excited, and
I've heard it's good.
It is so good. It is fantastic.
Wow.
It kept me like into the movie the whole time, like from the start. From the start of the movie, I was in it.
That's awesome.
And I looked it up, and it's 92% Rotten Tomato when I looked on Friday. But
yeah, I knew it got good reviews.
Fantastic film. The story behind it was amazing.
Really?
Josh Brolin is hilarious in it, by the way.
Love Josh Brolin.
Like, there's really serious parts of this movie, but there's like times where you just don't expect you're going to laugh, and it just hits you.
Okay. So where do you rank it in the 3?
Oh, no, it's the best one out of all.
No kidding. Oh,
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna watch it. Let me ask you this: did you stick with Pluribus?
No, I didn't do the thing where I wanted to, renew my Apple TV.
Oh yeah.
Because my friend came over, and that's how we watched it. Because he has Apple TV, and I was like, "Well, it's good, but I don't."
It's so boring.
Oh, no.
It was so great. The first episode, and I kept, like last night, it looked like things were starting to pick up. And then, again, snooze fest. I turned it off with 15 minutes left. I didn't even care about they try to give you a cliffhanger at the end of each episode. Just a dud, man. So boring. And I'm sure it'll close strong. Vince Gilligan's great. And the first episode was fantastic. And I bet the last one will be great. This show should have been 4 episodes. This season should have been 4 episodes. So damn boring. But like I said, I'm sure it'll pick up. Let's see here. We got Charles Krause checking in on social media, says, Princess Bride, Rob and Michelle, I'm sure, are now having fun storming the castle. A great loss. Yeah, for sure. Very well said, Charles, and thanks for your contributions to Nightlight tonight. Derek Pfister on social media says, too many to name, but he's naming one, and it's When Harry Met Sally. Thank you, Derek. Tim Baker says, Spinal Tap, my favorite comedy of all time. No kidding, Tim. That's awesome. Our pal Marta Hansen, very talented musician, says The Princess Bride, and Eric Rathsack from, I always want to say How I Met Your Mother, but his band is Ask Your Mother. He and Adam come in here, and they are awesome when they're here. I love having them on. Eric says Spinal Tap. No, not a big surprise. He's a musician. These are great texts and a great list. What do you think the highest rated Rob Reiner movie is, Con?
The Princess Bride?
No, close. It was number 2 at 96%.
96? Wow.
It's 96. Who didn't like show me those 4% that did not like The Princess Bride, or the 2% who didn't like Spinal Tap. Although Spinal Tap was a mockumentary, I could see that could be maybe just not someone's cup of tea. But The Princess Bride?
They just don't like movies.
Exactly.
There's like, yeah, it's fine, but I would rather watch a TV show.
It's like about a guy. It's like the guy who writes about economics for the local paper, and they sent him to cover the movie. That's kind of a knock on.
They're like,
that.
our guy's busy today, our movie guy.
That's right.
That guy over there, you go.
Send him. Local features. All right, coming up next, folks, we've got a thespian coming into the studio. Very excited, and let us know you still have time to be a part of the show. What is your favorite Rob Reiner, not Rob Schneider movie, Rob Reiner?
Yeah.
It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM.
With locations in Appleton and Oshkosh, Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley since 1972, offering comprehensive eye care services. Their doctors also share a special interest in treating chronic dry eye disease, providing specialty contact lenses, and expert pediatric eye care. Find Insight Eye Care on North Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Improving lives by improving sight with quality eye care for everyone in your family. Insight Eye Care. Visit WIinsight.com to schedule your eye exam today.
Hey, it's Amanda, and we all know that Northeast Wisconsin has some of the best events around, but trying to find them all can be tricky. So here at WGBW, we decided to do the work for you. Prevent boredom on any night by going to WGBW.FM and click events in the top right corner. You'll never have to spend forever scrolling to find out what's going on in your area. And if you got an event to share, hit us up by emailing info@WGBW.FM, bringing you local news and timeless hits while giving you the 411 on what's happening in New Wisco.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
I was stuck in a state of panic and endless rituals, so I made the call.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn more at National Park.
Yeah. Oh, where can you go?
I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Night Light. We are broadcasting statewide here from beautiful downtown Green Bay on a chilly evening, but better than last weekend, I suppose. Mark from Prairie du Sac in the 608 says, there's the movie Innocent Blood, where the female vampire only takes criminals as her victims. Hearing of mob crimes, she decides to drink Italian as a comedy, horror, and drama. It's pretty good. Oh, that's a great recommendation, Mark. I would be willing to bet that Laura Enright has heard of that. Because that's not part of the vampire Innocent Blood. Is that one of the new ones? What's that? You know, the
Twilight?
Yeah.
No.
Isn't there a Twilight? Oh, New Blood.
I've never even seen Twilight. I know it's
You've heard of Blood, though, right?
I've heard of Blood.
True Blood is an HBO series.
Okay, right.
And it's
That has
based off
nothing
a
to
bunch
do with-
of books.
Okay, it's not.
Yeah, that's with Suki. So True Blood.
Okay.
And takes place in Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fabulous, especially the first couple of seasons on HBO.
Do you like vampire stuff?
I am obsessed with vampire stuff.
All right. Gives us another something to talk about. That is the voice, ladies and gentlemen, of my next guest, Teresa Epertella Surgat.
Pretty good. Way
Not
to
too
go.
bad. I mean, it only took me whatever. It's great to have you here, Teresa, and it's nice to
Thanks.
meet you.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
You've brought an iPad.
I did because I got notes.
Is it
and I
like a
just
cheat
wanna
sheet?
Kind of.
I've got my cheat sheet here, too, so we can cheat and make this a really fun interview. You've got a lot going on. We're going to talk about a few things. Bridget, by the way, in the 818 says The Princess Bride. Love,
Yes.
love that movie. Timeless. Rest in peace. Well said, Bridget. So let's start there, Teresa, because you're an actor. You're very involved in the Green Bay Community Theater, which is an outstanding operation by all accounts. Where do you weigh in on the Rob Reiner? It's interesting because he was a great director, but he didn't really write his stuff. So, but as a director, it's pretty hard to argue with the guy's success. I mean, he had one hit after another.
Well, those are different. Those are two totally different skill sets,
Yeah.
though. I mean, you've got the director who holds the vision for the storytelling. You've got the writer who writes the story. You have the actor who has to bring all of it to life. And, and the directors, especially with film, there's just so much more to consider. But the directors sailing the ship, driving the ship, whatever. But, they hold a vision in it, right? So that a really amazing story is being told. See, and I'm old, though. I grew up on those classic Norman Lear shows, so I do remember him and All in the Family, and with Archie always calling him Meathead, and, and that whole...
So funny.
And the back and forth of, Archie Bunker living in Queens, never wanting the world to change, and then you've got Mike and his little girl Gloria, and how that depiction of what was going on in the 70s, being anti-Vietnam and just the different protests and feminism and all that kind of stuff, and Norman Lear and his brilliance, that tug of war with so many amazing shows in the 70s. And so that was my first experience with Rob Reiner, and I mean, he had brilliance in his DNA, with his father being Carl Reiner. And I feel for Mel Brooks, who's 99 and has literally known Rob Reiner since a baby.
That? Great point. I didn't even think of that. We were talking about Albert Brooks earlier and how he was Rob Reiner's best friend growing up and would spend time at the Reiner house. What is that even?
I know.
Insanity. And then you got Mel Brooks. You just said something really interesting, and here it's a testament to the greatness of Norman Lear. There are times where when I was a kid, I was like, Archie Bunker is kind of the bad guy. He's the old curmudgeon and says things he shouldn't say. But I sided with him sometimes because Michael Stivic was a meathead in a lot of ways and idealistic and not always. But they had such great back and forth. Yeah. And then I also loved it when the Jeffersons came into the neighborhood and they were at, I like George Jefferson playing opposite Archie Bunker, it just didn't get better than that. Like,
no, it was brilliant.
It's kind of like Frasier on Cheers. Loved him on Cheers. Didn't love the show. I know a lot of people do love it. It's a great show. But I liked him when he was like the second bit. Same with George Jefferson and Archie Bunker. They were so funny together.
They were fantastic. And it's also, and Norman Lear, like they're also they're like total reflections of each other.
Yeah.
Because George was very conservative in his
Correct.
approach to life, you know, and so
I'm skeptical about the other race. Like they both
Yeah.
were. They just, because it was ignorance. They just didn't know each other.
Right.
It's like they were basically kind of the same guy.
They
you
really
know?
were, as
Yeah.
far as the things, and then their approach to each other, and also just the way that they thought, as far as just certain morals of life. So, yeah.
Well said. Do you have before we move on, do you have a favorite Rob Reiner movie?
Oh my God, that's too hard. That's too hard. I would default to Princess Bride, but I cannot tell you how many days a week. I mean, I probably think about it once a day, where I just go, it goes to 11. So,
Right.
So
That might be our Conrad. Where are we at with that? Would you say? Would you say Spinal Tap or Princess Bride?
I'd say I've heard Princess Bride more than anything. I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah, it's a huge. But then at the same time is When Harry Met Sally, which was iconic because it wasn't your standard romantic comedy, and it focused more on friendship. And then again, talking about the DNA, Rob Reiner's mom was the one who improvised the iconic line after Meg Ryan, and the mom just goes, "I'll have what she's having." Like that's just. Can you imagine growing up in that?
That's the
genius.
best. And then that's where the phrase, to the best of my knowledge anyway, the white man's overbite was coined. Like Billy Crystal doing that on the plane.
For sure.
Teresa Appertella Sergat is here. She is a local actor. We're going to talk all about the Green Bay Community Theater. There's some great productions coming up. And you are a referral of our pal Eric Westfall.
Yes,
so
yes,
thank you to
indeedy.
Eric. Shout out to Eric for that. We're going to do the news. And when we come back, we're going to tell you about a play that she is part of, and her involvement, and it's coming up soon, folks. So you'll have an opportunity to learn more, and that is coming up after the news. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'll take you to your best friend's house, marmalade, we're making out.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW.
ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. Shock in Hollywood and beyond over the murder of actor and filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. The LAPD says their son Nick Reiner is in custody on suspicion of murder. Reiner's daughter made the grisly discovery.
She found her mom and dad yesterday. They had been stabbed to death. They were down. The 911 call was for medical aid to the LA Fire Department. They then came and they realized this is going to be a police call and that the police department was going to need to come in.
ABC's Alex Stone. President Trump today declaring his intent to sign an executive order to make fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. He also revealed his administration is considering changing how the law regards marijuana.
We are considering that, yeah.
Are you planning?
Because a lot of people want to see it, the reclassification, because it leads to tremendous amounts of research that can't be done unless you reclassify. So we are looking at that very strongly.
This is ABC News.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly to mostly cloudy for tonight, low near 10, rising temps late. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the mid-30s. And partly sunny on Wednesday, highs pretty close to 30 degrees. Rain Wednesday night, rain to snow Thursday. Right now it's 13.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
You are listening to your local Civic Media radio station on air. Thank you. Did you know we are always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app too? And if you miss a show or game, find it wherever you get your podcasts or on our website, civicmedia.us.
Small businesses are the heart of America. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders. Innovate.
Oh, man, we are jamming through a Monday night show here, folks, and thank you for being part of it. So many great texts tonight. We are talking to our in-studio guest here, Teresa Appertella Sargat. And the three names, you got to have three names if you direct theater. Is that not a thing, Teresa? Or
I just like to keep it adventurous for folks in the Midwest because I'm not from here originally. So, yeah, they all have the same what?
I think I was saying Appertella, like
I
you're
know,
from Sicily or something.
I know, everybody thinks that, but no, it's actually Hispanic.
Oh, no kidding.
Appertella.
Okay, very cool. So, all right, Teresa is here. She's our in-studio guest. She is a local actor, very involved with the Green Bay Community Theater. An outfit that has been around. I just learned this. Martin Prevost was here last week.
Oh, great.
And I didn't care for him. Obviously, kidding. Great guy. And I didn't know, though, that the GBCT has been around for about 90 years.
Yeah, it's 89 right now. And then next season will be its 90th season. And consecutively, they've had their doors open the entire time.
That is unbelievable. And they've done 390 plus plays. I'm guessing it's somewhere between 390 and 400. They would have said 400 plus plays. But tell us a little bit about the history of this operation.
Oh, my gosh. The history of GBCT?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no, you're gonna have to get the box office manager Kit in here.
Get her on the blower, Don.
I know that they've been around since 1930, whatever. And then what's really kind of neat is the building that they own. That's over on the west side off of Chestnut. It was originally a Baptist church, and they purchased it. It was like 1965 or 66 when they bought it, but then they moved in 1967. And there are these great old school newspaper articles, and you see like it reminded me of an old Murphy's Oil commercial. Like all these women were around washing the walls because of being good for the wood, whatever.
Sure.
And like their very first production, I think, in that space was in 1967. I have no idea what the first show was, but was it? I don't know.
Something that sounds
probably
like just
right.
Taking a wild guess, yeah.
And but I think that's neat. It's been there since. They converted this old church into this really neat, quaint theater space. And
what does it hold?
It's around. I believe it's around I don't know if it's 175, 180.
Oh, one anything is great.
Right
That's
there.
a great.
So yeah. I don't. It's between 175 and 190. And the stage is a nice little size, and it's that classic proscenium setup where the stage is up there as opposed to a theater in the round or something like that. They have a faithful their season ticket holders are amazing. The community that they've created, even during the pandemic where things were bumpy, those season ticket holders were just faithful and to even when they tried to get creative in doing things on Facebook and just a lovely group. So yeah, they are the original of live theater here in Green Bay, which is really cool. And I can't remember how old they are in comparison to. I don't think they're the oldest in the state, but gosh darn it, they are close.
Got to be up there. How did you get involved? You said you're not from here. Where are you from?
I'm originally from.
Don't say De Pere.
No. Little further south, Florida, Georgia. Went to college out east in Pennsylvania. Met a guy from the Midwest. He grew up here.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
Somebody brings you to their lair.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it definitely must have been the single-digit weather that sold my heart.
No kidding.
It was the cheese.
But how long ago was that?
Oh my gosh. Well,
So you could have left, like me. Like I was here as a kid. We moved here, and then I came back here as an adult. I never thought I'd live here, and now I'm like, it's cold. I don't like the cold. But other than that, it's
so why did you come back? You escaped.
Family. The things we do for love, right? I mean, but it's a very easy place to live.
It is.
It's got a lot of, the pluses outweigh, like I live in a small town. I'm bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
It's not, I live in the far north suburbs of Green Bay, also known as Marinette.
Okay.
So I'm almost a Youper.
Uber Light.
Yeah, exactly. We're just south of the river, but it's like I said, you got to make, wherever you live, you got to make it fun. And I've liked everywhere I've lived. So
yeah. But no, we got married in 94. So we've been here. It feels like, it took probably the first 20 to 25 years for people to consider me a local. And now I feel like I've crossed that threshold.
So you can do that in Green Bay. Green Bay is a little bigger where I am. We're still not. My parents moved there 40 years ago, and they're still not. There's like 6 families that started the whole town. You got to be related to one of them.
Yeah.
But that's great. Yeah, Green Bay. So your husband is from here.
Yeah.
You could have left. You stayed.
Yeah.
Unless he was a Packer or something.
No.
But you found this great outlet for yourself, the Green Bay Community Theater. So
well, I studied theater. I was very involved in high school, but I studied in college, and even. And then for a while, when I was like, I would lead worship services, which is also kind of theatrical, actually. And then and then we had some kids, and then took a pause. And when my kids got old enough that I knew the house wouldn't burn down if I went out for the evening, I started getting involved with community theater, and I actually auditioned first with Evergreen Theater, which is another local community group. But because of that group is how I met Dave Zockart, who is the current president of the board at GBCT, and he directed the first show I think I did in this area, now that I think about it. So for me, having the opportunity to do theater again, it's always felt like coming home. And so... And I've had the opportunity to also work with, aside from these two groups, I've worked with Theater Z. I've been able to, for a couple of years, there's a statewide, there's a statewide one-act competition, and I've helped with the regional judging, and so I love doing that. I love watching young actors and giving them solid feedback to grow. I've done character coaching with theater, with Studio 12. I've helped clients.
These are all Green Bay theaters?
These are all Green Bay.
I've heard of Evergreen.
Yep, Evergreen and Theater Z. And there's Studio 12 is actually a performance arts school with singing and acting. And I've helped kids get work on their auditions if they want to go into a BFA program. And I really love that. There's something very exciting about seeing a young person grow into something that they're very passionate about.
How is the involvement in Green Bay, would you say, in terms of children's theater? I feel like where I live, it could be better, especially because it is cold here. Yeah. It's an indoor sport. You still get a lot of the same lessons you get from sports or whatever. You work together. You have a common goal. Like, is children's participation in theater encouraged here? Is it an enthusiastic community?
For sure.
Okay,
for sure. I mean, in De Pere, there's the Birder Theater, Birder Players. They have I know, a program where they do a lot of children's theater, and Evergreen actually has a pretty strong young actors program, and through them I was able to have the opportunity to direct a couple of shows with young actors. I've also worked with Play by Play Theater. They're the ones who do Shakespeare in the Park every summer
That's
here.
Eric has done that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and
That sounds fun.
And they've done children's theater also, but what they do is that they've taken a children's story, and all the actors are adults and go into schools to perform it, which is a blast. I did that with them for a couple of years also, and it's just, like kindergartners worshiping you, so that's awesome.
That's fun.
You feel like a rock star.
My guest is Teresa Apratella Sargat. She is a local actress, very involved with the Green Bay Community Theater, an operation that has been around for just a few years, 89. And so let's get to your play here before we run out of time. It's called Beats.
Beats.
And it's coming up semi-shortly. What can you tell us?
Yeah. So one thing about me and the type of theater and stories, films that I'm drawn to are always very character driven.
Yeah.
I mean, I love me some good brainless entertainment, but I really love a good meaty story that you think about a couple of days later. Beats, when I read the script, I was like, this is a really neat character driven show. It takes place the summer of 1944 through spring of 1945. It is based on historical facts of a time when, after the Allies fought against Hitler and Mussolini, when they were trying to expand out of Europe and go into North Africa, and the Allies won, they had all these soldiers that they had to do something with. And so we had German POW camps here in the United States from 44 to 46, approximately 400,000 men. So, and at that time, there were only 48 continental states, and it was something like 28 to 30 states participated in this. And agriculture was obviously a huge part of the economy at that time. Well, all the young, strong men were in Europe fighting the war. And so you had these farms that needed help. So the government came up with this plan of these work camps, and these men could volunteer. They weren't even forced. They were
prisoners.
Correct.
Okay.
They could volunteer to work on these camps. And so Wisconsin alone had 20,000 men in these camps. The mothership was in Sparta, so they came through Camp McCoy, and they would spread across the state. Now, we didn't have any exactly in Green Bay, but Sturgeon Bay, Antigo, Appleton, Hortonville actually still they had barracks, and there's still like a piece of that on the land that it was on. What's really neat is the playwright, Rick Padden. He's from Colorado, so he wrote for this to take place in a fort somewhere out in Colorado, whatever. Well, on the publisher side, it said, if you want this customized for your area, reach out to Rick. And so I did. And together with last summer, we worked together to customize it for Wisconsin. And so we had to be we had to make sure it was a camp that did exist the summer of 1944. And so we ended up placing it outside of Germantown, Camp Rockfield. That's where it takes place, in a farm outside of Rockfield. And I love that it's in history. I love that we were able to bring it to Wisconsin because I want it to kind of sink in people's bones. And I don't know if we have to take a break first, because I really do want to dissect the story.
Yeah, well, we've got about a minute.
Okay, so there's just the premise of it is there's this Farmer Fred, actually, who I just cast Eric in, and Fred is kind of the main. He's the one that goes through the moral dilemma, the character arc. There's also a love story, but really it's about Fred wanting to protect his land, protect his family, and his anger that his son is fighting the war, right? And he's got these different people in his lives, his best friends, like this is common sense, like the guys work on the land. His wife is obviously the heartbeat of the story, but he has a daughter, and there's a bit of a romance between the daughter and one of the German soldiers. So there's all that tension. But Fred has to decide, is he going to stay in that anger? Is he going to stay fearful? Is he going to continue to call them negative names? Or is he going to let go and experience human connection. And so really, for me, why I feel that's relevant today, right, is things are contentious.
Yeah. Let's pick up right there.
Okay.
We're going to do a really short break. We'll come back and hear the rest of this. And I want to hear how beats tie into this because I assume there's...
Yes.
We'll get to that too.
So sorry. Yeah.
Teresa Abertella Sargot is here, a local actor. And we are coming right back on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
This bitch jingle like money. Disco overload. I'm in today. I'm good to go. I'm down. You know I glow. And let's go. 'Cause I'm in the stars tonight.
It's the Eco Minute, powered by Clean Wisconsin, your environmental voice since 1970. I'm Amy Barrio. Wisconsin soybean farmers pushing the EPA to finalize rules allowing a controversial herbicide back on the market. Dicamba is used on soybeans and cotton that have been genetically modified to resist the weed killer, but it has a tendency to get into water supplies and drift in the air, hurting other plants like orchards, gardens, and trees. The EPA will now require dicamba to be mixed with other chemicals to help stop drifting. If you're still searching for a Christmas tree and wondering which is better for the environment, real or plastic, turns out it's real. Experts say plastic trees are usually shipped thousands of miles from China and eventually wind up in landfills. And for every real tree that gets taken home, farmers replant 1 to 3 trees in its place. Right now on the Defender podcast, meet the Wisconsin native who's foraging 100% of his food for an entire year. Listen at cleanwisconsin.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're a storyteller, negotiator, artist, innovator. Whatever your passion, whatever your skills, behind the scenes or in front, you belong here. A career in broadcast media. Local radio and TV stations in every town and city need someone like you. So do what you love and bring your talent to life. Your passion, your skills, your career. You belong here. Learn more at youbelonghere.media.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off. You've got this. Yes, you do. See how we've got you at yougotthis.usaging.org. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General.
Welcome back. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Tomorrow night on the show, folks, Mike Gamal will be here. He's the founder of Joey's Song, a really cool event happening in January in Madison that gets bigger every year. The proceeds of the show go to help fight epilepsy. Mike will be here. Lots of great musicians involved this year as well. Members of Garbage and lots of other great musicians. It's just an outstanding program that they do every year down in Madison. What did I say? Erica? Who's here from Comedy City tomorrow? Yeah, we got Erica and Scott. Mm-hmm. Scott has been here before. We've not met Erica yet, Very excited to have them back. Nick will not be joining them. So he's sending out, he said they're two of my best. So Nick is kind of the patriarch figure. Do you know Nick Wallander?
I know, yes. I mean,
Love
more
Nick.
like we've seen each other. We don't really know each other, but yes.
He speaks really highly of you.
Does he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Before I even knew you.
Yes.
I was like, who is this Teresa person? We have to have her on the show. Nick's great. Eric is going to be great. Scott's going to be great. They're going to be here tomorrow. And then comedian Boris Hamilton will be here. One of my buddies from L.A. is making his first appearance on Nightlight, so that'll be fun. Right now, we have a few more minutes with our current guest, Teresa Eppertella Sargat. She is directing the film Beats at the Green Bay Community Theater.
It's a play, not a film.
Did I say film?
You did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
That's
mean.
my background. My bad. Beats, Beets. So it's a very healthy sounding play. A super film,
Well,
if you will.
And the reason why it's called Beats, honestly, is because that was it was a big thing about sugar beets because everything was rationed in World War II.
Okay.
And so sugar beets were, aside from very nutritious on the veggie side, it was another way for people to have sweeteners. And so for the writer, like it just kind of encapsulates just kind of that moment in time, right?
Yeah.
And so that was another thing is then we found out like, oh my gosh, at Camp Rockfield, there were guys who went out to sugar beet farms and there were other guys who went to canneries. And so the thing is they would get paid 10 cents a day, but they'd have canteens and actually all that kind of stuff like made some folks upset, and that was the thing, like I said, as far as like what I was saying before, what I was trying to get into was in the same way that things are contentious now, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, there comes a point where at the end of the day, you just go, but we are human. And this story reflects that.
Okay.
Because Fred, like I said, he has to face in himself this concept of it's an us versus them and who is my enemy? What does it mean to have an enemy? Am I that person's enemy? So there's a lot of that stuff that gets explored. And that's another thing that I just love is that, it's from the 1940s and it's, the story takes place then, but it's reflecting something that's very relevant today.
That's great. How do you this theater's been around almost 90 years.
Yeah.
You got to put the butts in the seats.
Yep.
When you pick the material for a show you're directing, where's the balance where you go, people are going to love this, or this is a story I want to convey and get out there?
Yeah. I think, I'm not on the play selection committee, but what I do know is that they take suggestions from any and everyone, and I think that they are really conscientious. I was just talking about this with the box office manager last week at auditions, and they're very conscientious to be like, is this practically, can we even put on this production?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, who's going to be our target? Like there are some things that might play really well for folks that are 70 and older. And then there's some stuff that will just put butts in seats, which is typically almost any holiday show. And then so I think they just, and then it's nice to like once a season, maybe get something that encourages maybe somebody who's not a well-known writer.
Yeah.
But it's a really sweet story, and it's one that can really make people think, which I love. Theater's my absolute favorite medium because I feel like when it's done really well, it's a very safe place to explore possible subjects that are uncomfortable, right?
Right.
And I love that theater it just makes you feel something. And if it really gives you something to chew about for the next day or two, I'm like, yeah.
Definitely. Well said. Teresa Eppertella Sargat is my guest. She is directing the show Beats that starts up, the run starts February 12th at the Green Bay Community Theater. We've got a texter. Sydney Frankenstein says, I think he's referring to Rob Reiner. He says, too many to pick. I think it's another day to take some time to tell the people who make an impact on you that you're grateful for them. Pete, thank you for the fun and escape your show. Well, thank you, Sydney. Very nice of you to say that. Thank you, and I'm glad you're a listener and a frequent texter, my friend. It's great to hear that. Mm-hmm. And that is exactly why we need live theater. And I love that you said that, Teresa. You're not only are you telling a story that people get passionate about, you're feet from the audience. Like you just can't beat that. Like I've always been more of a film guy, but when I was a stand-up, I loved that intimacy where you're right there.
That
it's
energy.
like we're all here together. We've got about a minute left, and this has been fun. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
But what are you binge watching? Do you watch TV? I know theater's your first love.
Oh, yeah, but I am a total binger.
Love it.
My husband and I just started that wackadoo one on Apple, that Pluribus.
Oh, my. How far into it are you?
We only got through the first through the first 3, and we're just like, this is intense and this is weird. But we knew we had to watch it because it was the same gentleman, Vince. Is it Vince Gilligan?
Yeah.
Who wrote
Saul.
Better. Yes,
And
that
Breaking
and Breaking Bad, which we were obsessed with Breaking Bad. Like, to me, that was such a perfect story. It was so perfect. And so we're really big on that. And we also, right before that, we binged like that quick on Netflix, the Lightning Strikes, and it's about the assassination of James Garfield.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's really good.
Really, it's only 4 episodes. It's boom. It's
all right.
but it's really good.
You'll have to come back when you're further into Pluribus because I love the pilot and whatever. All right, we have to go. Teresa, thank you so much. Thanks for all your calls and texts. On behalf of the lovable producer Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
In the night, in your dream.